like the worms like intertwined in the just horrible. So I took my sanity loss and went about my day.
One time I was walking down the street here.
Yeah.
There was a rabbit's head in the road, and it was just the head was just like sitting there, looking at me.
I think that's probably a fox or like a feral cat's work. Yeah. Right there.
But the way it was propped up, it wasn't like
that's
just like
that's like some Pet Cemetery stuff right there.
Now I swear, when I went back up later, it was gone. I don't know.
It might have been.
I don't know if my memory is intact, but that's
maybe
the way I remember it.
Maybe it was like just outside some guy's driveway, and he's like, "Oh God," and just got like a plastic bag and got rid. Yeah,
punted it or something.
Right. Yeah.
But that was a sanity moment.
No, that I'm sure you'll never forget that.
Bunny head just staring at me. Okay, we're good to go.
Cool.
Gaines boys back in business. Oh, I gotta add my necklace, my chain that I got going on.
He's studying like
you should go to a jewelry store and get a custom yellow sign piece of jewelry made for you. That'd be great.
In game?
Yeah,
I already did that.
Oh,
I've had them for years. My daddy bought it for me.
I don't know if I can allow that.
It says Gaines on it.
There's a yellow sign.
You want to get brass knuckles that just say Gaines?
Nice.
That's what I'll use to beat people.
Brass knuckles are not a bad item to have in this.
Just get knuckle tattoos, but all of them are just the yellow sign.
I'm a rancher, and then you emblazon the yellow sign on. Oh God! Just wallpaper yellow sign.
Oh yeah! I'm going to open up a business, and that will be.
There is a house in Kinnicknick Parkway that has a yellow sign, like on the outside of the house.
Wow.
Yep.
It's actually the only tattoo I've ever considered.
That'd be pretty cool.
The yellow sign.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What happened to your tattoo I'm paying for?
I don't know.
Scott uppercutting.
The money hasn't changed hands yet.
No, money doesn't change hands until it's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You pay afterwards.
Okay. Well then yeah, studs. Where's? There's no excuse then.
Yeah, no excuse. It's time.
Okay. All right.
We should cancel RPG night so we can get a tattoo.
Just right now, just go rush him down there.
Rush him down there.
It shows up green night.
And the only day I'm not doing something this week is tomorrow.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, my Resident Evil 2 vinyl soundtrack finally shipped.
Nice.
It'll probably get here in like a few weeks.
That's cool. The booming video game vinyl soundtrack industry.
Hopefully we'll still be playing Call of Cthulhu.
I hope so too, because the more I go along the campaign, the crazier it gets. So.
Well then, get us going.
Yeah. So, last session, you guys did quite a bit. Upon Dr. Heinzsmith's invitation, you went to the asylum to mainly for Thomas to give his opinion on Alexander Roby, the patient whose release hearing is fast approaching. You guys have the transcript of Roby's ramblings. What else? You spoke to another inmate, Lucius Harrowell, who, he told you a number of interesting things. How much of it was just insane or, truthful, that would involve some sorting out on the psychology department. But you did get some accounts from him. There's this whole kind of strange atmosphere ever since you've been to that one play, and right now you are still in the community of St. Agnes Asylum for the Deranged. I need to see what the name of the village is again.
I'm not.
No, that's right. That's right. You stayed back in London because you had a follow-up with Talbot Estes and received a copy of The King in Yellow from him.
Yep.
Excellent. As for the two of you, you had finished up talking to Lucius Harrowell and Alexander Roby, and I believe you were making your way off the premises and are spending the night in the vicinity of the asylum as Train service is unavailable to return to London this night. You'll have to wait for the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a... Is the police precinct in this village, or is that handled...
Oh, Hereford is where you are.
For some reason, I thought there was like a decision we were trying to make.
I'm
I thought
sure.
we were going to a police station to
what?
find
Yes,
Oh yeah.
the
Right.
reports for...
there was a murder that took place at the asylum itself.
Yeah.
That I think you were interested on getting more information about.
Yes.
Additionally, the Roby murders themselves you wish to follow up on.
Mm-hmm.
You were given the name of the Roby family doctor, Dr. Lionel Trollope, who Dr. Highsmith wrote a letter for you on your behalf so that he'll have some idea of who you are if you decide to pay him a visit. And yes, you were given the name...
See? It's official now. It's on the sheet.
20,000?
No.
The
Portrait.
game, the necklace.
Oh, okay, yes.
Cuthbert Yates was murdered.
It's really not a necklace. Of
Yes,
the
Cuthbert-
style.
Cuthbert Yates
Not
was
really a necklace
the
of this
nurse
time
at the
period.
asylum who was murdered
No,
about
but
2
he's-
years ago.
He's a trendsetter. Big gains.
Taiwan.
Oh yeah, Kaiwan.
You heard Kaiwan,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Haster. I have those words written down next to each other.
Yes.
It's like Juntao.
Oh yeah, I think you guys obtained the newspaper clippings of the murder involved with it was Alexander Roby, the asylum inmate, his father and sister, double murder. At which point he confessed to these murders and since was committed to the asylum. Okay. So as for the two of you, I just need to... I haven't been in this chapter for a while. I've been looking ahead, anticipating the worst. So I just need to see about your accommodations. Okay, so yeah, the asylum's in Webley, 20 miles northwest of the county town of Hereford. Yes, the Wheat Sheaf has a couple of rooms where the two of you will be staying tonight, assumingly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Studs, you have your copy of The King in Yellow, so that'll give you a lot of nice time for study over the coming week. Who has the higher appearance of these two gentlemen here?
Pretty sure it's
13.
the big gangs man himself.
Sorry, Daddy-o.
You got 18.
I have 16. I only have 18 size. That's where it counts.
The biggest of men.
The biggest.
Okay. Let me see if I have this attachment, otherwise I need to do a quick snap a photo. I do not. Okay. You get to have a dream tonight, Big.
Nice.
Yep.
I also had a dream.
Yep.
I normally dream of large women.
I can imagine the sort of things that go on.
Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah.
I will send it to you via Signal. Yep, the more private messages you get in a Cthulhu campaign, you know the better you're doing. you're winning.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, alright.
Oh my god.
Enjoy your dream.
Yep.
It's like a novel.
Let me know once you've finished your reading.
Seems pretty pleasant. feels too big for your chest. I think Big might actually have that medical problem.
No, his chest is too big.
It's a hurt. Okay.
Okay, roll sanity. That's probably a failure. Okay.
He didn't even start with that much.
No. Roll this one.
You lose more sanity.
4.
Okay, you take 4 sanity loss.
God. And you didn't even recover any of my sanity.
I'll have to try again. Like, more stuff happened.
Okay.
God. 22.
Your dreams are troubled that night, Big.
Yeah.
And it is a new day. So someone should probably be keeping track of the calendar date at all times.
What day is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna determine that right now.
While they're doing stuff, I can keep track
Yeah.
of that.
I'm gonna talk to my dad about my horrible nightmare.
Well,
Snap
you're,
out of it.
well, you were tiny.
Yeah, I dreamed my heart was too big. And there was smells and
Okay,
weird.
today is October 31st, 1929.
Nice.
Yep.
Happy Halloween.
Yep,
Make me better, Dad.
What was the year in
1929.
Having a big heart is
A virtue.
yes. Many people wish they had a bigger heart.
Okay.
Is that good enough to roll?
So
for?
yeah, I think so. You're just giving
Telling you
him
the words I need
you're
to
giving
hear.
him some timeless wisdom
Yeah.
here.
It's not scary to have a big heart.
That's the
Never
cutting
go wrong.
edge of forensic
Yeah.
science here. Okay. I believe. Do you remember which one that was? I think that's psychoanalysis.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead and roll.
Apparently, the most important skill of all of Call of Cthulhu.
67 out of 90.
Okay. You can roll a d3.
There, found it.
Okay, it's something.
You recover 2 sanity.
Something. You staved off my mental breakdown where
Yeah.
I snapped your back like a twig for lying to me all these years.
All right. Well, it's a frigid October day, but the two of you may return to London if you wish.
It's Halloween, in case anyone's wondering.
Yep.
Do they celebrate Halloween?
I don't think so. No.
And
Should we-
It didn't really become popular
Should
till
we
like the
start?
70s.
Should we start? Games always celebrate
Should we
Halloween.
start celebrating? Should we show them how it's done?
I should get like a
There are-
Nacho Libre.
There are
mask.
hundreds of pubs and taverns in London which you could celebrate in.
What are you implying?
Implying nothing.
We've got a police station to get to.
On Halloween?
It's not a thing. At this point, it's like some pagan holiday.
Yep.
Alright, we'll go to the police station.
Okay, you wish to go to the Hereford police station.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Here you may obtain more information about the asylum murder that took place. And this was rather shortly after, as you note, shortly after Alexander Roby's detainment. Okay. At the police station, you see it's certainly smaller, perhaps slightly less organized than many of the London boroughs, the district stations that you're accustomed to going to, but eventually you're able to get the attention of an officer at the desk. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello. We're actually here to inquire about an old case. The murder at the asylum from Cuthbert Yates in November 27.
Do you have new information to bring to the case?
Well, I have reason to think it might be related to the. What are they? The new murders. I'm trying to think of what that was. Out of character. relatively new murders? Oh, the murders of that patient. They're not new either.
No,
Are they?
those actually happened prior to the asylum murder.
Yeah.
Alright, flashback. I didn't
Okay,
see
that's fine.
murders.
But you're saying you might have new information.
Out of character, I'm trying to think if that's true.
Why not just say shit?
You're right. I said to say yes.
Okay, roll a credit rating.
Better have a
You want some money?
smoking hot bread rating. You don't.
60 out of 50.
Okay.
Damn it.
It's better than my credit rating.
The officer pauses, rubs his chin a bit, and says, "Have you had any official contact with any members of the administration at the asylum? I would be hesitant to discuss this matter with someone with no official bearing to the case."
Yes, I just came from there. In fact, that's what led me to want to find out more information about this case. I interrogated the murder suspect, and
You had the permission of the asylum director?
yes,
All right. What's your intelligence, Thomas?
12.
Okay. You
So,
is yours higher?
yeah,
that?
mine's 14.
Okay. Between the two of you, you think to show Dr. Highsmith's letter to you, giving a nice tangible piece where he says, "Oh, look at this." All right. Yes. Just a moment. He leaves the desk, comes back, and he says, "Okay." He hands you a file and says, "You may look at this, but don't leave the police station without it. Or don't leave the police station with it." Yeah, don't leave without it. Yeah.
No
You
problem.
got it.
Sir. All right.
Okay.
Take my gun too.
You're gonna need
I
this.
will.
All right. So this is a file about the murder of Cuthbert Yates. Superintendent Wallace Rees has written the final conclusions about it, and you gain the following details. The murder scene had enough blood spilled to suggest that at least 2 people would have been killed there, and there were 2 blood types present, but only 1 body. 2 kitchen knives were recovered in the cell. A blood-soaked and slashed nurse's uniform was found in the laundry. Mr. Lucius Harrowell, the second gentleman that you interviewed, and who was officially, who basically the file indicates was responsible for the murder, was covered in blood, but none of it was his own blood, and the door to his cell was unlocked. They conducted examinations and interviews of all the asylum staff, and none were found to be wounded. And at this point, they have no speculation of a motive for Cuthbert Yates' death. The concluding report from the superintendent suggests that Harrowell must have been responsible, and that whoever the second victim was must have left the scene or was somehow removed from the scene. Those are the contents of the file.
Did say the blood on Harrywell, whose it was? If so, it was someone else's. Was it one of the, or was it the?
A large amount of it was Cuthbert Yates,
Okay.
the murder victim. They found his body in his cell. They never identified the blood for the second blood source. So.
How would they be able to identify it in the 1929? DNA testing wasn't a thing back then.
Just blood type.
Yeah, it matched his blood type, we'll say. It's definitely clear that there was 2 different types of blood at the scene. And since that's in the book, I'm just going to say even if it wasn't available in the real world, they had primitive blood testing.
Well, like, I know Jack the Ripper, that case pushed forensics.
Yeah, and that was like turn of the century, so there's almost 30 years
that was
after
1888.
that. Yeah, so yeah, I'm sure they have some sort of.
Okay. Harrywell did say the devil was in there, stabbing himself. Not could be second blood. Could be the devil.
Literally?
In some form. There must have been a second stabber.
A second stabber.
Actually, just another person.
Okay. Do you have any lead?
Only from this case. I guess. There's the nurse's uniform, which suggests maybe a nurse was involved. Except none of them were wounded.
There's that Evans guy that I wanted to smash.
For looking at you funny.
Kind of suspicious, but
He's kind of suspicious.
This murder happened at the asylum, right?
Yes.
Wow.
It happened in Mr. Lucius Harrowell's cell.
I don't know if it was him. I don't think it was him.
You don't think it was Evans?
No.
Okay. We don't know any other nurses.
You know Nurse Price. He was the one who led you around and gave you the opportunity to speak with Harrowell when he saw that you guys were interested.
You want me to paralyze him?
Jesus.
No,
Bit unnecessary.
You do have other, and if you don't necessarily have a decisive decision on this, there's other elements to follow. Like you have the family doctor you haven't spoken to yet. I mean, and that's with Roby, but it depends. There's a number of things you guys are kind of looking into right now. So,
Well, you think they're all linked.
well, both. What's the name of the patient? The original patient.
Alexander Roby.
Okay.
Well, that's who you interviewed. Yep.
Roby and Harrywell were both talking about the same things. Both like the same kind of crazy things.
And they didn't like the yellow sign.
Right. No one seems to like that yellow sign.
I don't know why.
And,
Well, I mean, you've evoked a reaction by showing the sign. It's difficult to say if they are repulsed.
it's a reaction.
It is a reaction. Yeah.
Normal people don't react to
Right.
stuff.
it's like the same names keep coming up.
Normal people have no reactions. No feelings.
Taiwan,
Well, let's try it on this console.
Castor, the King in Yellow. Which also named the book of that play that we have to sign from. They're both talking crazy, but they're talking crazy about the same thing.
You're talking my kind of crazy.
Okay, well,
Coincidence?
I think maybe.
you want to go track down?
I should research some of these names.
Well, we should meet up with that other Gaines brother,
Morgan.
The other Roby.
whatever his name is.
Yeah.
You can help carry our books
Yeah.
while we research this matter.
All right, Constable. What do you think of this?
He scrunches his eyes at it and says, "How odd.
What's odd about
I've never seen such a symbol
it?
before."
Make an assessment.
God, that's so old.
I don't rightly know.
It's maybe it's from the Orient.
You hear that?
You just found everything on that lead that
Yep.
you forced this
Taking
random
a point.
constable to get.
That's where Taiwan is. We gotta go to Taiwan.
Oh yeah.
Going to Asia.
Taiwan in Taiwan, maybe.
Yeah.
The capital city
Maybe
of
it's
Taiwan.
maybe it's a country next.
They're
to
definitely
Taiwan.
not going to have a page in that book for us traveling to fucking Taiwan.
You can't think like that. Taiwan.
We should book a long passage.
Long passage to Taiwan. Okay, let's head back to London. We'll talk to a travel agent about Taiwan. I'll get some tattoos done. And we'll settle this. Settle this in Taiwan.
Okay, you
Having
guys.
ramen noodles in a week.
All right. You'll be able to rendezvous with your son and brother, and you may share information with him.
What you got? Book.
Oh yeah.
So how long were they gone? Like
One day.
one day only?
Yep. It was a day trip, and they came back. They made it back in the afternoon of the day after. So, you've had about 24 hours so far with the King in
About.
Yellow. Yep.
I would say that's pretty much all I was doing is reading that.
Okay. That's good. It still will take you a decent amount of time to get through it. You know for certain you've never read anything quite like it in your life, and it would be difficult to put it down unless you had something important to do otherwise.
So I found this book, or I got this book from the
Talbot Estes, the playwright.
The playwright.
You book learning.
Book learning. Well, I've been having some weird dreams, and then the last one I had, the symbol popped up from the play.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
And
what's his assessment?
I figured.
Oh.
I figured I should
went and sought out a book, so you must
look
be pretty
into it.
messed up.
That exact. Well, I don't know if they're talking about a book. I don't know what else they're talking about. Both these crazy people at the asylum.
Yeah.
Kept bringing up this king in yellow. Talking about some king.
But one of them
It is
implied,
the title of the book.
One of them implied that I might be the king in yellow.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I believe
That's what he
that was
believes.
my,
That's what
that
he
was
said.
my
Someone check
interpretation.
the transcript. I think I have. I should defer to them.
Alright, so what's up next? You want to let your son have enough time to read his book? And just go back to normal life for a time?
I could also.
Do you want to go
is
to
it
the
worth
travel
talking
agency?
about- I want to see if any of these names. I'm going to give him the list of the names: Quarry, Kaiwan, and Haster. Edwards?
The way you said it.
Malcolm.
Edwards?
Malcolm Quarry.
Corey, Haster, and what was the other
Are
one?
you looking at your transcript of your interview?
My out of character transcript.
Okay.
I have to look up the in character one too. But like Edwards, Quarry.
Yeah,
Kaiwan,
I'll
and
resend
Haster.
that because that's a fairly. I mean, I won't say it's important, but it certainly is a substantive.
If it's in Signal, I might.
I'm gonna resend it to Signal. It's worth resharing.
It might still be fresh.
It could be. Oh, here we go. It's coming in right now, Thomas. So don't worry.
Yeah.
So this was only what Roby said during your interview.
Good. He didn't write down what I said.
No.
I'll be going to the travel agency.
Okay. Well, there's let's see. Pendlebrook Worldwide.
Worldwide.
You see travel posters lining the walls as you enter inside. Experience the richness of the Orient. You see pictures of like the pyramids, the Himalayas, Shanghai, lots of nice British colonial areas.
The mountains of Kaiwan.
That's what you say. Hello, sir. How may I be of service?
Yes, I'm looking to book passage for 2, 3 to Kaiwan.
Oh, you must mean Taiwan, sir.
No, that's what I thought. It's Kaiwan.
Taiwan.
Should be somewhere in the Orient. This might be on their state flag.
That's never gonna get old. It's like the same napkin that he said. It's gonna be in tatters by the end.
Nice.
All right. Well, you see him looking through his directory. He reaches K, shows you like Kathmandu and some other places. He says, "Now, sir, I do not have Kaiwan in my registry." Now, where did you hear? Perhaps you heard it from a well-intentioned individual who simply meant Taiwan.
It's possible. That's in the Orient.
Yes, it is certainly, sir. It is about a 2-month journey from here.
My dad did say a long passage.
Not bad.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Seen
could
a
work.
lot worse.
Yeah, could work. What about Carcosa? Where's that?
I will check.
Does that come up anywhere in game?
Carcosa.
Didn't you just say it?
No.
Was it in the play? It must have been in the play.
The play has Carcosa in the title.
Boom.
Yep. I think I saw one of those in that name in those playbills floating around.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, I believe that is an area of fiction. It is not on our terrestrial globe, I'm afraid.
Okay, well, let's, put a pin in the whole Taiwan thing.
Yes.
I'll discuss it, and maybe I'll be back.
Wonderful. We would be happy to assist you.
Alright, now I'm going to go to the tattoo parlor.
Okay.
I didn't receive anything.
I did.
Did I send it to Maine?
Oh, no. Full
The
reset.
secrets
Private.
of Kaiwan.
Yeah. Okay. Let me try this again. Okay. I apologize. There we go. It is sending. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Did you get it, Thomas?
Yep.
No, now I got it.
Yep. Carcosa is mentioned at the end when he started reciting poetry.
Send it to everybody.
Yep. Yeah, everybody. I mean, since you've rendezvoused with your family, you would have access to this transcript as well.
Old Edwards.
Old Edwards.
Quarry.
Yep.
The Pallid Mask.
Yep.
Juntao. Whoops. Scratching. Did I get to the tattoo parlor?
Yes.
Okay.
Tattoos are something that's kind of growing in popularity in certain areas.
Right. Trendsetter.
Again, the fascination with the Orient budding in the 20s is definitely allowing them as new burgeoning industry, and so you see a man with a twisted beard who just seems to be finishing up some work, acknowledge you with a nod. And a few minutes later, after he kind of wipes it down with some cloth smelling strongly of alcohol, he approaches you and says, "Oi, what'll it be?"
Looking to get 8 finger tattoos.
I mean, on the knuckles?
Right.
Or
Right here, right here.
can't say I've never done one of those before.
Today's the day.
Interesting. You know, it's a pretty thin area of skin there. Might be a little, prickly.
I welcome it.
What'd you have in mind? He takes the napkin. looks
Careful.
You see, he handles it.
It's the only one I got.
I'm sure that symbol's all over this book, but
Yeah, you've seen it a few times. Mainly from Talbot Essis's own little scribblings and stuff in the margin. All right, yeah, I can take care of you.
Good.
You see him doing a little mental math in his head. Might be assessing his schedule for the day, and says, "I think I've got an opening right now."
My fingers are yours.
Okay. You have cash on you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've got $3,950.
Okay. For £10 sterling, you can have it done.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
See, what's your excuse?
Okay. You've got pretty good physical attributes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You're able to endure the pain.
I'm big gains.
Yeah. There won't be any rolls. Granted, your fingers will be a bit tender for a couple of days, that area. But sure enough, etched into your fingers is the yellow sign.
When I punch Haster with these things,
It'll just be all Infinity
plus
War.
5 weapon.
All right. Yeah, so it's probably about. You guys made it back in the early afternoon, so it's probably well into the night, maybe like 8 or 9 o'clock by the time you're done getting your tattoo.
Okay.
Looks like the artist is probably closing for the day, but he said, "What is that, by the way? Is that some Japanese symbol or China?"
I think it's from Taiwan.
Taiwan.
We call it Taiwan this time, not Taiwan.
Because I've been corrected now.
Yeah.
There is no Taiwan.
It's a major goose.
So you just think that you think the play got it wrong? It was a typo.
I don't know. Is Taiwan in the play?
I'll just tell you for your benefit.
Yeah.
The only time Kaiwan was mentioned was from Lucius Hartwell.
See?
Was he in the King and Yellow book? Did he read it yet?
He hasn't finished reading. Studs gets no information until he finishes, and then I'll tell him everything of
So
interest.
there you go.
Yep. Okay. Anything else for that day? Thomas, you said you start doing some digging?
No.
No? Okay. You
Should
start
I
digging a
be-
trench behind your
Should I
house.
be digging? Is that the...
No. Well, you were mentioning the various names that were mentioned. I didn't know if you wanted to, like...
Oh, digging, like metaphorical digging.
Yes. Yes.
Dr. Gaines just in the backyard digging holes.
I wonder if I care about Trollop. That hack.
He's a real troll.
Well, Trollope is the family doctor for Alexander Roby.
I feel like this is bigger than Brody at this point.
Dr. Heinzsmith sent you a letter of introduction. Should you wish to pay him a visit?
I know where he lives.
You have an address as well. You have his address.
Let's see him. I could write a letter. He'd be my pen pal.
Keep writing letters while we're on the boat to Taiwan.
How are we gonna receive him? How are we gonna send him?
I don't know.
That's not Bates' problem.
I just write him.
I don't know why. Isn't your intelligence rather high?
Isn't yours?
Yeah.
Okay then.
It's just very similar intelligence or mindset as the lighthouse keeper.
No,
Yeah.
not that much. I mean, I think the yellow sign probably affected Big subconsciously. I mean, that's what it does. It creates an obsession for artistic people.
It does.
I am artistic.
Your body's the canvas.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go see Trollop just to
Use a Trollope.
cover up all bases.
Okay.
I was
Well,
wondering what
you
I-
certainly won't be able to see him today unless you plan on knocking on his door late in the night.
No, I'll wait.
Okay. Shall we advance to November 1st?
The end of Halloween.
Sure.
Halloween is over.
All Saints Day.
You celebrated by getting your tattoos, so
Yeah, that's good.
yep.
I was just thinking about yesterday the Boondock Saints sequel. I don't remember a single second of that film.
I remember more than a single second, but not significantly more than a single second. Like, I remember a few of the one-liners of the new character,
I don't even.
and I vaguely remember the plot of the movie too, but
Because we saw it after Avatar,
yeah,
and I had to piss at like
yeah, you
the
didn't piss.
start of
You
Avatar.
didn't piss for like 6 hours. Yeah.
So I
Yep.
couldn't think about anything
They're
else.
sitting outside their jail, or at the window of their jail, pointing guns at all the criminals, and then like pans in, what's his face on like a dock or something, I think, maybe, or like he's dressed.
Your
as-
dad,
No, what's his
one
name?
of the saints. Norman Reedus.
No, the other guy. The guy that's dressed.
Funny man.
No, the guy that dresses up like a female in the first one.
Oh, Defoe.
Yeah, Willem
Yeah,
Dafoe.
that he ends the movie.
Is he in the sequel?
He at the
end-
very
at
end he
the very
shows up.
end.
Yeah,
You've seen it more than once.
I've seen it like 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've only watched it once, and I own it on. I only watched my copy once. So compared to the first one that I've seen like
Thousands.
Yeah,
many
I'm
times.
pretty familiar with
Yeah,
the first
yeah.
one.
All right, it's November 1st. I know that. Which Gaines are you, Thomas? I forget your.
Hugh.
Doctor.
Yeah, we've got Dr. Hugh Gaines, Big Gaines, and
Yeah.
Morgan.
and Morgan Gaines. Yep. Okay. Will only Hugh be visiting Dr. Trollope, or will he be accompanied by his ever faithful associates?
You gotta take me with. I'm like your protection.
I don't see a reason to stop reading this.
All right. Your artful son is committing his arts to the reading of this book.
Alright.
Can you pass that gum this way? My after snack gum. It's very good. All right. Dr. Trollope's home, as referenced to you by Dr. Hinesmith, is in Longacre.
Is this a house visit?
Yes.
Okay.
This is where he takes.
His meals?
Well, do you attempt to contact him first, or do you just proceed straight to?
Is this an Arab telephone?
Yes.
Okay. I should try to call him first.
Okay.
Why? Then he can prepare.
Prepare some answers.
He should have all the answers. You're preparing him for lies. If he's got nothing to hide, then let's just show up.
He's not home.
He won't answer the phone either.
It's not the era of cell phones.
Seems rude to drop in.
Seems rude to
Consider
keep your
a
patient in
professional
an
courtesy.
insane asylum forever.
Well, you saw him. He didn't look fit. Hold on, did Chop the one who
Well then,
recommended?
wait. Well then, why did the other doctor call you in?
He wanted his expert opinion.
So I believe the asylum guy wants to get the guy out of there.
Why?
Roll up. I don't know why.
Maybe
See, we should be paying that guy a visit.
Maybe he's the killer.
Break his back.
I think I just want to compare his observations of Hopi. Or
Roby,
Roby.
the Hopi Indian.
This Trollope guy.
Yeah, he knows him better than any of us. He's the best of us.
Okay. I don't trust him.
So I'll call him.
Okay. And you wish to arrange an interview?
Yeah.
Okay. Upon mentioning who you are you willing to mention Dr. Hinesmith as your mutual connection? Okay. He will agree to see you.
Okay.
He states a preference for 11 in the morning tomorrow,
I agree.
November 2nd. Okay. He seems pleased that that you can make the appointment and bids you a good day.
It's all set.
Yep.
So, Dad, there's no such thing as Kaiwan. It's Taiwan. And I've got potentially us passage booked. It's a 2-month trip. What are your thoughts? My brain could use a little relaxation.
Yeah. I have always wanted to see the Orient.
Yeah. And I mean, these are the people that created this symbol, so they know what's up.
Where did you learn that?
The tattoo guy.
You recognize the symbol?
He said it was Oriental.
Could be.
So, what better place?
Well, I don't. That playwright. It's his symbol, right? He should
Yeah.
know what it is.
You want to pay him a visit? Maybe he's got more
Yeah.
symbols.
Hold on. Let's wait till.
I could have had 8 different symbols instead of just that one.
Oh, you should have thought ahead there.
Damn it!
Man. Yeah.
I mean,
Only your brain was as big as your heart.
he's the one that gave me the book,
Yeah.
which the Keen and Yellow, I think, definitely has a relationship with that symbol.
Yeah.
So the more I read on this book, I think the more I will learn about the symbol.
Did it mention Taiwan?
Is he from Taiwan? The king?
I know nothing right now because I'm not allowed to know anything until.
God damn it!
How far along are
When
you?
he reads the last word, it all just clicks into his brain.
That's how poets work, don't you know?
God damn it!
How far?
I'll provide you some metadata. Suds will need about 2 to 3 more days to finish reading the book. Provided he's giving, as he's proceeding now, giving like his whole day, just pouring through the
So
paper.
you know where this playwright guy lives?
Yeah, he does.
I mean, does the book explain the symbol? No, why would it?
But
Not
these
allowed.
crazy dudes knew about this book.
Well, crazy. Oh,
They
yeah.
knew about the Keen and Yellow.
They knew about the king. Who is? You don't know.
I
You
don't
know who knows? That motherfucker.
Yeah, all this reading.
Yeah.
We
Skip
can
the
go- we
reading
can go
and just
talk to the man.
get the answers.
Even though
like
reading
a real
is,
man.
Reading is my forte.
You have 12 intelligence.
I have 18 education.
Shockingly.
Very well educated.
At his older age, his intelligence is going down, that's all. He used to be an 18.
I'm just an average man.
So you don't want to go
with a
visit
lot of
this guy?
education.
You just made an appointment.
First trollop.
Yep.
We're seeing trollop.
Alright,
Yeah.
we'll wait.
All right. Jump ahead a day.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Stubbs. You are calendar scribe.
Nothing really exciting happened on November 1st.
No. There was a.
Made an appointment.
You made an appointment. That's right.
We almost went to Taiwan.
Okay.
That's
Still
close.
will.
It would be unlikely for none of you to be habitual readers of the newspaper. I'd assume the good doctor probably reads fairly often.
Makes sense.
I mean, you guys all could be habitual readers of the newspaper. I'll just leave that up to your characters.
You probably get one cent.
Maybe on the normal days, but right now.
Yeah, because you guys all are in one household right now, right? So I'm
Yeah.
sure Daddy gets first crack at the newspaper when it comes in. So
If anything, I live in Dr. Gaines' basement.
okay.
Throw you shreds of books on occasion.
There's something of note in the newspaper.
Ones you like rip.
Yeah. My training books. Once I'm done.
It's trollop.
Today's your appointment with Trollope.
Yep.
Okay. As you're reading your newspaper, I'll take. You can roll both spot hidden and library use. So 2 separate rolls.
Library use.
You just need either one to be successful.
This is a D20. Here we go. Holy shit. 92 out of 80.
Okay, that's a fail.
Can I roll?
My spot hidden is much worse.
Do you want to read the newspaper after Daddy does?
Yeah, I missed it all. 36.
You're gonna need your son to take a look too.
Sure. That's how I keep my intelligence up.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I have 80 libraries.
Throw it in the trash.
Throw
it in the trash, Dad.
Another day, another day. And I put it down.
Okay.
Satisfied.
King in Yellow running rampant in Taiwan.
Portal in central London can take you there straight away.
Throw it in the fire.
Okay.
Damn.
Um,
That was in there.
Yeah.
all right. You've got your appointment with Dr. Trollope. You bring Big with you. You see a charming little house in the neighborhood.
How
Uh,
little?
Not that little.
Okay.
2 stories, made of stone. Upon knocking on the door, you see a housekeeper open and greet you. Oh, hello! You are here for the appointment.
Yes, yes.
You must be the famous doctor, Hugh Gaines.
Indeed.
Mr. Trollope is expecting you. And you're shown into the drawing room. High ceilinged, comfortable, blue settees, and a deep green Persian carpet.
Ooh, Persian.
Yep.
That's
Orient. Yeah.
Far east.
Yeah.
You see a white ivory tusk on a little rack. There's little carved figures underneath it. You see a brass polar bear lazing on a crystal ice floe. I don't even know what an FLOE is. It's interesting.
FLOE?
yeah.
Isn't that like... It's just like a floating platform of ice that broke off a glacier. Isn't that usually what it is?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. So it's like it's like a taxidermy. It's like a polar bear on his little thing. In like a corner of the,
yeah,
okay.
floating ice.
Okay. Yeah, fine china.
I don't know what an igloo is.
Right, exactly. Paintings of a dog.
Also channels.
The doctor is not yet present, but after waiting a few minutes, he appears. Dr. Trollope looks rather pale and drawn. Looks like he's been quite busy as of late. And he shakes your hand, Dr. Gaines.
Trollope.
And this is...
Well, this is my son and associate, Big.
I'm pleased to meet you.
Bigelow.
Okay. He has a seat. And says, now I understand you're here to discuss Alexander Roby.
Yes. I was actually just at the asylum the other day. And
Oh, were you?
Interviewed him with Heisman. Is that his name?
Heinz Smith.
Heinz.
All right. He frowns at that.
I'm gonna be pacing around him with my arms crossed.
Okay. Once you get up from your chair, he says,
I never sat down.
okay.
Don't mind him. He likes to stay active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was.
All right. Roll a persuade.
See? Why is he so uneasy?
Goodness,
He's got something to hide.
You're some big bruiser.
We're sweating him out.
Oh, this is. I have 99 persuaded.
Yeah,
Okay.
problem.
57.
All right. Very well.
Um.
All I ask is that you keep this private then, since what I share with you regards one of my patients, and this is not for any tabloid use or anything of that nature, I understand.
Oh, of course. I'm a professional myself. I'm. Just want to get to the bottom of this case. It seems I've never seen anything like it.
All right. Well, in the capacity that I understand you're advising Dr. Heinz-Smith as to Alexander Roby's release, I can share some details with you. So the night of the murder, I was called in by the domestic staff who discovered the bodies. They were found in the drawing room of the Roby's home. Herbert Roby, the father, was entirely drained of blood upon my inspection. I noted a deep wound in his upper chest. But I did not see any blood on the corpse itself. No staining of the carpet below. Anything of that nature. As for Alexander's sister, Georgina, my initial impression is that she was attacked with a sharp instrument of some kind. Either a large knife, axe, and, Alexander didn't make any pretense. He was certainly in the house at the time of the murders. I went upstairs, and he just remained up there despite his family being dead on the floor below.
What was the year of this murder again? Or the date?
These murders took place in... Got the newspaper clipping. Is it right? I just saw that. This is where... Okay, yep. This occurred on October 15th, 1926.
Is there any
Over
blood on the boy?
Over 3 years ago. No, there was no blood on Alexander, and he told me immediately upon my confronting of him that it was he who had killed his father and sister.
And
Did you believe him?
Well, I asked him about the means by which he did this, and he refused to explain that to me. And at the time, he was also hysterical with grief. In particular, with the fate of his sister, Georgina. Now, I am not a member of law enforcement, but my opinion was consulted by the investigators, and I could not equate Alexander with the murders, both from what I knew of him and still currently know about him, and from the manner of the deaths. The investigators also came to the conclusion that there was no solid physical evidence linking him directly to the murders as one would expect with such a bloody crime. Or, well, the blood situation was unique in this case, but...
Were both bodies drained, did you say, or just the one?
Herbert's body was fully drained. Georgina was not in the same condition.
Okay. Very strange. Why would one be murdered?
Yes. The police didn't hold Alexander.
Let blood go.
He was saved by a nurse until the time was right. The second tragedy.
Now, as for Alexander in the immediate wake of this, the police did not hold him for long in custody upon their conclusions that he wasn't their first choice, or they yet to have any prime suspects for the murder, but he did offer a confession, and he was very mentally broken after the incident, so I was one of several in support of committing him to the asylum, and his period of petition is approaching its renewal or release, depending on the opinion of the committee.
Now, have you seen him recently? Because I thought I'd heard that you
I visited
didn't
him.
want to release him.
I visited him twice since he was interred, and upon both visits, I remain convinced that Alexander is still unfit to leave.
From my most recent review, I tend to agree. I was kind of surprised that Hinesmith seemed to be pushing for his release so badly.
I have a suspicion that Hinesmith is looking for a career-altering case showing the successful rehabilitation of a prime patient. So this is just speculation on my part, but I think Hinesmith's motivations are complicated. I'm sure he wants to see Alexander's full rehabilitation, but I don't think we're there just yet. So I'm glad you share my opinion, Doctor.
Why do you believe he confessed to the murders?
Of that reason, I still don't have a sound theory.
You believe he witnessed them?
It could be a mechanism to cope with the sudden trauma of their loss, that he felt somehow responsible for not being able to prevent this, even if this is just a projection of his guilt, perhaps. But no, I mean, certainly it's very baffling, and you see him kind of rub his chest a bit, and he says, well, did you have any other questions?
Yes, actually, there were a few names that came up. I'm wondering in his ramblings. I wonder if you've heard these from him before. Edwards, Quarry, Kaiwan, Haster, the King in Yellow.
All of okay. Roll a psychology as you list these.
15 out of 95.
Okay.
Not even close.
No, you'll get a lot of information from
You
that.
need to get over 95.
So you can tell the way you just mentioned all those names and sort of the weary response that he had as that all just kind of washed over him, that Dr. Trollope has likely heard these names mentioned to him before. He still seems right now in your interview with him to be preoccupied about one or multiple other matters, despite giving you a good amount of information about Roby. And you feel like, especially when you mentioned that you're against his release, that he is acting in a trusting way towards you, but is not quite ready to unburden himself with some more information. And at this, he says, now, of course, I've shared with you my my knowledge of the crime scene, and as far as that is concerned, I must end our interview with that today. But I would like your card, good doctor.
Oh, yes, of course.
What about this?
Just see Knuckles this time.
Oh, that's right. He says, oh, a tattoo.
He thinks it's Oriental.
Yeah, perhaps. Very interesting.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, well, if
See,
you,
you
ever,
didn't recoil.
if you would like to discuss this more, I'm very fascinated by this case, and
No, and you do seem like you're taking a very rational line with this, which I'm relieved. So I do expect we will be in touch again soon.
I say, you seem, if you don't mind me observing this, you seem preoccupied with something. Have you been, busy at work or something bothering you on your mind?
Yes, I do have my professional obligations, but I've been just thinking more and more about Mr. Roby, and hopefully some closure will be obtained sometime soon. We'll see how his hearing goes, but I think he will need some more time at the asylum.
Agreed.
Okay. His housekeeper offers you some tea as you leave, some refreshments, and then the doctor excuses himself. And once you're finished with your tea, you are invited to be on your way.
Alright.
Now what?
Now we wait.
For what?
Well, at the very least, Studs can finish his reading of the King and Yellow.
God, this mystery hinges on Morgan Gaines.
As it rests upon all of us. Yes, I don't know. That guy, you seem to recognize those names. He knows something.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to break into his head. Like, figure it out.
That's the kind of
you're
language.
talking my language.
That's what Biggs like to break
Break
into
into his
head.
head.
Oh my
Get that
god.
information out of there.
Well, you know, desperate man will spill some secrets.
We just gotta make him desperate. What does he care most about?
His life.
So if we take that from him,
Mm-hmm.
he'll give us everything.
Yep. Now you're talking. All he's got is one little butler.
His housekeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One little housekeeper.
Just nothing.
Okay. So I believe it's November 2nd.
It is.
Yep, you've had your interview. You're back in. You're back outside his house in the neighborhood.
Now, why? I noticed like
Yeah.
I swear something came up in some of the evidence that had to do with October or November. It had something to do with that.
Heinz-Smith mentioned that near the end of November is likely when the release hearing will be.
Is that the only thing? I thought it was like a schedule or a season, something with the King in Yellow. Like,
Well, the playbills had the premiere date,
it was also in November.
which was the 17th.
No, it's October.
Well, it was 17th of October. It was going to run through the 2nd of November, but the show was canceled after its opening night.
Okay.
Take that trip to Taiwan.
Wash our hands of this whole distasteful manner.
I mean, maybe something will develop in a couple months. Oh, it's took a couple months to get there. We spent like a month there. And a
Couple months to get back.
Sounds great.
So we'd get back in like what, March? Spring.
Why?
Spring's great.
Why?
Because a madman said the word Kaiwan.
Yeah, did you find
There's a
anything?
lot about the Orient.
Until he
We don't know.
tells us about Kaiwan, we don't know anything. So I think we wait.
Alright.
We just play
Okay.
cards and
I'll hit up the gym.
Do any of you, in your daily schedules, ever take a constitutional or a beverage at a local pub, or do you guys stay at home for the most part?
Oh yeah, I hit up the pubs.
Okay.
Because I used to
Roll
drink.
sanity.
I,
you're dead.
I used to drink milk, but when you become an adult, you
Yeah.
gotta switch to
You
beer.
gotta drink the adult milk.
Yep.
Okay. The night of the 2nd, as you're having your drink, big. Let's see. Something's gonna happen to you. I need to figure out what's gonna be. Russian roulette on the table. Yeah, right.
Left arm or his right arm?
God no.
It's gone.
God no.
Then I would become big gains.
That's how the naming hierarchy of this.
My size is gonna become 6.
And you'll be Morgan.
I'll just be nothing. Commit suicide at that point.
I was born in big games, but then you were born.
Yeah. This is new big games. He's bigger.
And then you were put in the basement.
Extra games.
Okay. Before you make it to the pub, as you guys make it back to the house, one of your neighbors sees you, Hugh, and you see him just give you a little wave to come over.
Do I trust him?
He's been your neighbor for 8 years. You've never had bad interactions with him.
That don't mean anything.
Alright.
Yeah, I know.
Thomas has neighbors.
No, I know, but I can't tell him if he trusts him or not. I'm just giving him information to base that off.
Yeah. Alright, I'll go over there. Okay, what is it?
Yeah, there was a cabman, a taxi driver earlier.
Cab man.
Cabman!
Cab.
There was a cabman!
Half cab,
Um,
half man.
There was a taxi driver.
Cab man.
This morning, he was asking me if you lived here.
You didn't recognize him?
No, I think he mentioned he had a passenger or something and supposed to drop him off here for you. And I said, sure, sure, Hugh Gaines
okay.
lives here. And he just kind of nodded and went on his way.
Huh. Very strange.
Yeah, it was a bit weird, so I figured I'd let you know.
Thanks for the heads up. What did he look like?
The taxi man?
Yeah.
Taller gentleman, dark.
Dark.
No, not what you're thinking.
Okay.
Rather roughly spoken. He, yeah,
Dark and rough.
kind of.
Did you call him ugly?
Oh no, no,
How dark?
Yeah, okay, so you mean dark and
tan,
demeanor.
like tanner. Yeah.
You mean tan? You mean dark
Swarthy?
physically? Or dark in manner?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I mean, he was an Englishman.
Dark English.
Those are rare. This. Okay. Alright, well, thanks for the heads up. That's very suspicious.
Yeah. Okay. Studs will only need about another day to finish his book.
What's the security on the house?
That is up for you to describe to me. But this is a good opportunity for you to describe. You can have like a flat where you're in an apartment building. You could have a freestanding home. You have the means to have either, so you can describe what you imagine your house to be like.
I think freestanding for sure.
Okay. I mean, you'll probably want at least 3 bedrooms.
Yeah, at least
Yep.
the 3.
Yep.
I'm wondering if I have like a guardhouse or gate.
A guardhouse. That would be pretty nice. You have,
That
like,
wealthy?
a per.
Max credit. As high as it gets.
No.
Well, no, for your profession.
for your profession, bitch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you quite have the accumulated wealth for like a guardsman to be on staff. Yeah, I mean, you could if you feel
I'm your
it's just
guardsman.
right.
So just a nice. I mean, I was about to afford 2 Rolls Royces. I thought in the beginning. No, Mercedes Benzes. Like
2 of them?
Then
Yeah.
you wouldn't have this house though. That money is all your assets.
Did I have to
everything.
spend? I thought I had 20,000 savings cash on hand,
20,000 was basically your combined assets.
No.
including equity, like home equity.
Yes, everything.
Right. So it's I mean, you could have a little bit more with that in mind, but
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. All right, so I've just got.
because you
probably a nice house.
use that to pay for your car, for example.
So if you if you have two cars that equal $16,000, you don't have a home then.
Good thing I didn't do that.
Yeah.
All right, so I probably have a nice house. I don't know what kind of security they have. They don't have like home.
Well, I mean, sturdy locks, sure.
Yep.
Just close my window and now you're gonna leave.
No, I'm putting on my jacket.
Yeah.
I think you said you. I think you said you own. I think you said you own a firearm.
Oh yeah, I have a shotgun.
You just doesn't know how to use it.
Right.
12 gauge. Oh yeah, thanks for the reminder. Okay. Yeah, so just a nice house. Maybe I have a gate. I probably have a driveway. Like you say, I have a long driveway or something like that. But I guess just a house. But yeah, no, it's not. So I'm kind of suspicious. That just makes me think. What can I do to prepare if I'm suspicious? I turn on the property lights. If there's electricity.
Call the police.
That would be rational. But do I have anything to base it on? It's just a hunch. I'm gonna sleep with my gun.
That night, he
Yeah.
slept with his gun. Okay.
For the first time.
Ever since Big Mama Gaines died.
She died giving birth to Pig.
Okay. Studs, you've had 2 distinct dreams so far.
Mm-hmm. Do I get a third one?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Your reading of The King in Yellow is fueling these.
That doesn't make any sense.
No?
No.
Well,
Hope it's worth it for
take of it what you will. Okay, where do we have the dream table? The dream flow.
the dream flow. That's where we gotta go.
Yeah.
That's in the Orient.
I thought that was from Prologue. Yeah, here we go. Some contenders for the dreams. Yep, okay. You've gotten
1 and 2.
1 and 2, that's right. And you're also finishing the book today. Okay. You begin to have dreams as well, Thomas.
Sucker.
Dreams of shooting his gun.
Okay. Studs. You
I'm
get
studs.
dream 3. It's going to be presented in 2 parts because of how it cuts off. And then Thomas will get the other one. His first dream.
They're good.
Gains.
They're good
My
dreams.
first dream.
They're good dreams.
Your first dream.
I've studied my whole life for this.
60 years old.
I've
Finally
been
dreaming.
attached the size.
Yep.
I'm only 42.
Oh
Say
my
60.
god, why would it even start? 2 lines?
I know.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay.
Okay, and then Thomas gets a dream.
How old are you?
19.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He had me when
you lost your
he was
wife
21.
19 years ago.
It's just been the Games Boys since then.
Yeah. Never remarried.
Can you blame him?
It's like a sitcom we're living in.
Oh, Sean, why you do this to me?
Sorry. It's meant to be difficult.
I can't concentrate on the words I'm actually reading when my head is silent.
I know for some reason Thomas has turned out straight.
Excellent.
Yep.
That's that library use.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He knows how to read.
Oh, the second
straight.
one's bendy, Thomas, so you get a variety.
Let's see.
And Studs, now that you've had 3 distinct dreams,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you roll sanity 3 times.
You're fucked. Oh.
No.
Okay.
I'm sure Sean has another character.
So, and you have to resolve them each time.
Failed.
Okay, roll a d3.
He's got another character sheet for you.
3.
Okay, 3 sanity loss.
Oh god.
Well, the 97 and then a 98.
Okay, roll that d3.
1.
Okay, 1 sanity loss. And then the final dream.
No.
Success?
No.
Okay.
Another 1.
Another fail?
Yep.
Okay, roll a d3.
I did. To 1.
Okay. Thomas, I'll take a d3 from you.
No.
Or not d3, it's sanity.
No.
I'm at 28. I'm still doing better than you.
Yeah.
80. It was fail.
Okay, roll a d3.
The Gaines boys are
They're chipping away
We're
with these
troubled.
nightmares.
troubled these
There's going to be a lot of stuff tomorrow, though.
We need to have
Okay.
a family meeting.
All right. And then, Studs, as you wake up, every time I send you a dream, you always have perfect access to this. It was like experiencing it in the waking day. So they're very vivid in your mind.
Lucid dreaming.
Um,
Not really.
and, yep. Studs, as you wake up from your 3rd dream early that morning, you find that you need just one last session with the King in Yellow, probably spending a few hours in the morning before your other family members get up. And you reach the conclusion of the book. Roll sanity.
All comes at me at once.
That all makes sense.
God damn, I suck.
You're never gonna pass.
I rolled 99.
This would be great in other circumstances. Okay, give me a d6.
Oh.
Oh my god, that's a
Even better.
D3. That's. Hey, a 1.
Oh, nice.
I'm assuming that's sanity loss.
Yep, so 3 total.
I lose
It's
3.
+2, yep.
Oh my.
Your Cthulhu mythos has increased by 6.
Oh shit, you got some spells.
No spells.
You know about Taiwan now.
Where is that?
That is one of your skills. You'll see it. It
Roll.
starts as a 0.
6.
And you can never Well, under most circumstances, you can never just like start a character with Cthulhu Mythos. It's not something you can like train into. So,
Cool.
okay, you finished the copy of The King in Yellow. This was essentially the long version of the play that you witnessed, and the text itself is rather ambiguous. But again, the mention of Hastur, Carcosa, it's suffused with that, along with Estes' labyrinthian commentary scrawled along the typeface and in the margins. So it doesn't really give you a clearer picture of like what's going on right now, but you feel that the door has been irrevocably opened to a world that is kind of peeling away at your sanity. But it was a great read. And should provide you with great artistic inspiration should you wish to compose some poetry or something after this. Mr. Estes said you may have up to 10 days with his copy before returning to him. So you will want to get to that to him next few days sometime.
I feel like it's only been 4 days.
Yep.
5 days.
So you have it for a few more days if you wish.
It's November 3rd now.
Okay, Thomas, you can't miss it in the newspaper today. There was an incident of another murder at the asylum.
You missed it?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
An orderly, Frederick Long, was listed as the deceased. Police are investigating.
What was the date of that?
Yesterday.
The second?
Yep.
November.
Yes.
Year?
1929.
29, okay.
Yep.
What was his name? Kobe? Wrote?
Frederick
Estes?
Long.
Frederick Long.
Yep.
Are we gonna go check that out?
Did we recognize him? That name? Did we
I don't think
ever
so.
come across him long?
Nope.
I would remember.
It was just some. I mean, as far as you know, it's just one of the staff,
Did they say,
like Price
did it
or
say in the paper how he was murdered?
what's that?
Did it say in the paper how he was murdered? Was there a photo of the body?
No photo in the news.
Body.
Nope. You'd have to inquire with the
Alright.
police, or perhaps with Dr. Smith. But the details are minimal as pertaining to the investigation.
Are we gonna go check it out?
Hold on.
What
Let's
if it was
get
that
the report.
weird creepy dude again who was stabbing himself?
Could be. Did we talk? Have you told us all you know about the book?
Yeah, it's not as.
So there's no Taiwan.
So
You
these
did not-
names did not
See,
appear in that
it was
book.
Taiwan. I'm telling you.
Taiwan, Hastur, Roby. Who is the King Yellow? Did it say that?
Tell us who the king is.
It's often mentioned along with Hastur, but it's unclear the connection between the two.
Hastur is mentioned a lot in the book.
Yes.
But is the King Yellow, like, is he a character in the book, or what
Yes.
is he? What
But
is he?
Hastur in the play is a place.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean it. Hastur is essentially like a coming kingdom that's kind of mentioned,
Yeah.
and the King in Yellow is like the herald and
Mhm.
ruler of that place. So yeah.
You know, I feel like I saw the King Yellow in my. I had a dream.
Did he look like me?
He was a big marine creature.
It's kind of close.
I can't explain why I thought he was King Yellow, but I knew. I saw
I don't
Carcosa.
think we're any closer to solving anything.
We're one step
I don't
closer.
even know if we're on a mystery or not.
We're one step closer to
I mean,
Carcosa.
you were just called in to just check on a patient's like insanity.
Oh, it's
state.
much deeper than that by now, don't you see?
I'm not sure.
I mean, you're probably right, but there's too many coincidences here.
I mean, should we be trying to solve murders?
It's not about the murders.
Okay, what is it about?
It's about what's causing them.
Which makes it about the murders, yeah.
What are you saying, Dad?
Daddy.
You know what he's saying.
Do you think there's something supernatural going on?
I'm starting to feel that way. Just all. Okay, consider both murders.
We should probably.
Consider them.
I have been.
No,
I
like,
think
so,
someone we've talked to knows more than they let on. That's what I think.
Yes.
So how do we get the real answers?
It seems to be a situation in both cases. The person who they think did it did not actually do it. There's someone who did it that is like disappearing.
And it's covering it up.
It's always
we
in
go back.
October or November.
Well, why don't we go back to the asylum and check on this new murder?
Yeah, that's the.
I think that's our best
the
lead.
next-
You're gonna come with us.
Got nothing else to do.
Aside from writing poetry.
In his basement.
Yeah, which he can do on the fly, I'm sure. Just bring his notebook with him.
Are you gonna give us a family meeting to?
Oh yeah, we should talk about what we saw last night.
Our dreams.
I mean, if you tell me about yours, otherwise I'll just tell you guys about mine.
I mean, you're supposed to fix us.
Yeah.
Fix us, Daddy.
I can only fix you if you're totally honest with me.
Yeah, I'll explain my dream.
All right. What was it?
It's a good question. What was this one?
The most recent one?
This one was.
You received
Oh.
2, then 1, then 3.
Yeah, so the most recent one was dressed up in a robe. I picked up a sword, and then I saw a person that looked like me in a hallway.
Did you
And
kill?
then I tried to kill him.
You failed, didn't you?
He was the same person
Same person as what?
as me. He was my doppelganger.
Alright, so fear of
But
failure.
I got cut.
Yeah.
I got cut in the arm.
Got cut in the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Textbook. That's nothing to worry about.
It means you're gay, I think.
It's subconscious.
Okay. He's shared with you his dreams. You assure him.
Didn't that other guy talk about cutting himself or something? Cutting? Wasn't there cutting and a murder or cutting?
Yeah, the devil stabbed himself almost as much as he stabbed the guy he murdered.
He did it. Yeah. All this.
You only have one son, Father.
That's right.
Like, this is a false memory.
He is the devil.
Oh, no. Okay. Do you wish to attempt bring your son back to sanity by psychoanalyzing him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll that beautiful bean
Yeah.
punch.
47 out of 90.
Okay. Dreams, sanity loss from dreams is within the realm of your expertise. This is often an outlet and an area of interest, especially at this era of psychology. So, you're able to give assurances, and studs, you may roll a d6.
Nice.
All those high numbers.
Yep.
Here comes a low number. Hey, middle round.
What'd you roll?
3.
Okay, you recover 3 sanity.
Nice. Suck a dick, sanity. Or insanity, rather.
Alright, let's go check out that asylum. See the bodies.
Okay, so you're just going to take the train to Hereford as you did?
Yeah.
And the whole family's going along this time.
Yup.
Okay. You guys get on the train.
It's the gain train now.
Winter seems to be having an early onset this year. Snow is falling as you look out the windows. Certainly unusual for this time in England. And you need to bring out your heavy coats a bit sooner in the season than normal. It's a bit of a weary procession from the station in Hereford to make it over to where the asylum is, since even from the train station in Webley, that's about 20 miles, and the going is a bit slower as a result of the weather. And so, taking the morning train, you're able to make it into the asylum by about 3 in the afternoon after you had your therapy session with your son that morning. And you see there are some constables here, and the gates of the asylum are closed as you approach the entrance. There is a staff member and a police officer at the gates.
What are they just standing there?
Yep.
That's kind of creepy.
Let's insert
I
ourselves.
mean, there was a murder.
I mean, are they like
They're
talking?
Just, like standing there, like guard, or
Well, yeah, they were carrying on, but as they see that you guys are coming up, they kind of look towards you and nod.
What's their story?
well, now we're lying.
Yeah, well, we need to lie about it.
If we want to get in there, see that body,
Well,
I mean, I thought.
would they just tell us? You think?
I mean,
I
I'm
guess
sure what the doctor...
You have no connection to this murder.
Right. But I want one. So why would they just divulge case information to us? I guess I could just say
You could say that doctor summoned you.
Dr.
That would be a fast talk.
Heinsmith.
Yeah.
Heine. Old Heine. That's what we call him.
Yeah.
Although you can,
in
you
university.
you can imagine the doctor might not be pleased if he finds out you've come in without his invitation.
I wonder if he's there. Does it look like the place is in operation, or is it just
Oh, yeah.
closed down?
I don't think
It's an operation.
I don't think
It's an operation
closes
every day,
down.
even Christmas, man.
That's true.
Yep.
They don't just like, all right, everyone, we'll see you in a few days.
Yeah.
There was a murder.
Just a guy just shouting.
Some guy went crazy and murdered a person. Gotta close the asylum down.
Yeah.
Wait.
Open all the cell doors.
I
Let it
mean,
sort
hey,
itself
man.
out.
Sometimes it's like government funded or something.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, let's get out. I mean, we'll just try to get in there. I mean, they'll let us in.
They'll let us in one way or another.
Okay.
Gotta break into
Asylum's
it.
closed to visitors. The staff member puts his hand up.
I'm actually here for work. I'm here consulting for a patient for Mr. Heinsmith.
Dr. Heinz.
Yeah.
Yes, he said I had an invitation to come
Oh.
whenever I was ready.
Yeah. You interviewed Roby, didn't you?
Yes.
I mean, I have my instructions that we're not admitting any consultants even right now. While with the current climate and all, and the police officer just nods to him.
Yes, I saw in the paper there was another murder here.
The police officer says, yes, one of the asylum staff was killed.
Terrible.
Dr. Heinsmith is hesitant to allow further access to the asylum right now, save for permanent staff and the police. We could call him out here if you wish, but I'm afraid we can't let you in without his express permission.
Kid his bony ass out.
Yeah, let's meet him. I have important information. I think he
Okay,
needs to know.
very good. A few minutes later, you see him strutting across the freshly snow-covered lawn, looking a little, more than a little disheveled by the recent events. And upon seeing you, he says, "Oh, Dr. Gaines, I wish you would have told me you were coming."
I suppose I could have, but I wanted to surprise you.
Oh, but when it was Trollop, we gotta call ahead. It's rude.
Well, I was his home. That's where he took.
This is Heinsmith's home.
That's where he took his meals.
Okay.
This is just his workplace.
Well, he straightens his jacket and gestures for his the police officer and the attendant to give you guys some space. And he rubs his hands together in the cold and says, "It's terrible, terrible. I can't believe I'm presiding over such events here, but with this new murder, as the police are investigating, I'm reluctant to allow further access to the asylum. I don't want to. I don't want press proceedings and rumors to jeopardize the release hearing, which will be fast approaching. He folds his arms, and you can see he's just very concerned.
Well, what would one thing have to do with the other? If the release hearing is for
nothing pending the investigation, but you know how things go.
I mean, do you have reason to think? Do you have any idea? Was it one of the patients that did the murdering?
Roll your psychology, Thomas.
31 out of 95.
Okay. So you can kind of tap into the idea that Dr. Hinesmith is worried again regarding more attention to the asylum affecting the proceedings of the release hearing as it pertains to his benefit. Dr. Trollope mentioned this to you as well, that he was hoping Roby to be one of his most successful, his best success stories, since he thinks he's fit for release, and so it seems like he's just uncomfortable right now, drawing even more attention to the asylum right now, and anything that you might... I'd prefer to have the police take care of things at the moment.
Of course.
I'm very sorry you made the trip out here. He says there's a good place to get a bite to eat. I believe near the inn you stayed at, and he provides you a check.
I say, how much is the check for?
It's for like £10. It's just enough for a meal for the three of you.
Wipe your nose with that.
I mean that's quite a bit more back then than it is now.
Not to us.
No.
Not that games.
I'll take it.
Say, now listen, this is just a suspicion, but I think these murders are all connected. And to be honest, that's why I came down here to learn more about this one, to see if it is indeed. I think there might be something at play here.
Okay. I know your persuade's 99, but I still want you to roll it.
18.
That's like a very good fraction. That's less than a fifth. Okay. I am inclined to grant you what you wish, Hugh. Today only, you may have full access, and he orders the gates to be open.
I promise. And anything I see or observe here today is strictly between us.
Okay. He suggests to the officer to show the doctor and his assistants to the crime scene, and you're allowed that privilege. While you're walking, Hinesmith looks like he might be accompanying you for this, and he says, "Now, do you intend to speak with Alexander again, or are you just more interested in the?"
Potentially. Mainly, I just wanted to see to learn about the new murder.
Very well. He'll have Nurse Price accompany you again, and he's at least initially is going to be with you. You're currently, the body has recently been moved, but the officer shows you where the murder took place. It was in the hallway outside of access to the cells. He says the body was discovered in the morning.
Did it have blood?
Oh yes. It was. If you're familiar with the Cuthbert Yates murder several years ago,
Yes.
similarities appeared to be from a stabbing implement. Large amounts of blood.
And who's the culprit?
Well, we've just begun our investigation.
Was there any bloody inmate or something obvious?
He shakes his head.
Where was this committed?
Just outside one of the cells.
Whose cell? Whose cell?
Taiwan's.
Joseph Cairo.
near the
this
northern
case.
end of the hallway in the main building, about 4 feet from Lucius Harrowell's cell.
Harry well.
I gotta put him in a headlock or
We
something.
gotta see Harry well.
The
Have you
little
have
worm.
you spoken to Harry well yet?
If you call conversing with that gentleman speaking, I mean, you're a psychologist, right? You're welcome to talk to him.
I think I will.
I think we will.
I think we will.
Okay, he seems excited to see you guys again. Just as a reminder, remember his little
Yeah,
picture?
we know what he looks
oh,
like.
Big
Love
worm.
him.
Worm.
I didn't know what he looks like.
I guess that's even
Face on a worm.
shrunken penis.
Oh,
Okay.
looks like a dick.
All right.
I'm gonna put him in a headlock. I'm gonna
Squeeze.
pop the head off.
Not. Don't do that.
There's cops here.
In the cell?
There's cops everywhere.
Are they looking?
Are they looking? Who's in the cell?
As
with
a
us?
doctor, are you really going to allow that?
As my daddy, he'll allow it.
It's a dynamic duo. It's how they get results.
That's right.
Okay. Well, he remains in his straitjacket.
Squeeze him out of that jacket.
Who else is in there with us?
Price and and a police officer.
Oh my God, everyone's watching.
And Heinz Smith is like just down the hall.
Oh
So Harry well.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Did you
Yes. Yes.
Did you see what happened here this morning?
He's grinning and he says, "I don't like questions."
Perhaps it's time for a story.
Interesting.
I had a dream last night that I was taken to Carcosa. You've been there as well, have you not?
Carcosa, Kaiwan Haster.
Frederick Long, surely he has made his way to Carcosa.
Who's that?
Well, he's one of the nurses here. Don't you know him?
I don't know their names. They don't talk to me. I don't talk to me.
Did the devil visit again last night?
Yeah, I did. The devil.
No, he doesn't visit every night, does he?
No. Yes.
Pop this fucking pimple.
I don't know if this is.
But what do you think of this?
He like glances at it and then looks back over to Thomas.
He's growing a mule.
To Hugh. Yep.
So what did the devil do here last night?
He just looks at you slack-jawed and doesn't give you an answer.
I say we bust in here and we bust him up.
Do I notice anything about his appearance or like?
Give me a psychology roll.
Alright, so he's in a straitjacket. What could he possibly do?
This guy does not deserve to live.
This is your first psychology roll on Harrywell.
12.
It's very good. Okay. You are certain that Harrywell does not know when he tells the truth or a lie. It's all the same to him. Furthermore, he doesn't strike you as a murderer. Behind his grin, you see fear and not mirth. As far as anything else that he's rambling, the devil, Kaiwan, I go back to that first detail I just shared with you. He's not
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, well, thank you for your time.
That's all I have.
That's all anyone asks. Alright. Get me out of here.
Get me out of here. mean, I got
This guy's
plenty
crazy.
more, but
so
I don't
who
want
else-
to get arrested.
Is there anyone else to talk to in here?
There's
Heinz Smith. Yep. Well, how did that go? This
Nothing.
Heinz Smith.
He's
lunatic.
Yes, he is one of our long-standing lunatics.
Again, he didn't strike me as the murderer. How could he have?
It's troubling then. since,
All the signs point to him, as it did with the first murder, but less signs this time, I suppose.
Well, what can we say?
Yeah,
This is not.
this a mystery.
Hopefully, the police this time will find a more conclusive.
Indeed.
link.
We should spend the night in the asylum, and then when the devil shows up, we just
Scoop him up.
When
Yeah.
was the
We ride him all
When
the way
was the
back.
first
run a train on
in
the
the
nail.
asylum?
The first murder took place on
October 15th, 26.
yes, thank you.
The Roby murder.
Oh yeah, no, that was that murder.
What was your
No, I'm talking about the asylum.
Yeah, the asylum murder.
The second asylum.
I didn't
Yeah.
write down the day, but it was November 27.
So the first murder at the asylum took place on here. November 27th, 1927. And this murder took place yesterday.
We should spend the night. What do you think, Dad?
And they said it had similarities between the two.
Oh, yeah.
As far as the
Mhm.
weapon and
Yes.
suspected
the,
weapon.
the amount of blood, it looks very much in the same fashion as the first murder. So
Seems
again,
like once a year.
baffling to forensic science. It's been 2 years since.
Oh.
But the first murder did take place about 6 weeks after the beginning of Mr. Roby's internment. So it almost fairly closely coincided with his statement.
Do you need a temporary orderly for the night?
That's very generous of you, but some staff are being transferred from. He just looks at the name of some other asylum, and that is quite out of the question, I'm afraid. Goes against institutional procedures, which I must abide by.
Your staff are getting murdered.
I say,
We're not
looks
cops.
like there's an opening.
Yeah.
I point to the body.
Oh God, how macabre. He,
Procedure,
Yeah.
procedure.
well, I'll tell you what. Pending the release hearing, if you wish to do a clinical study, or should another murder take place, I believe I will try any methods at my disposal to improvise. But as of right now, I cannot allow it.
So if we commit a murder,
That'll be your golden.
that'll be the ticket.
We actually if we get admitted here.
Yeah. Then we're in.
Deep undercover.
We're in.
I don't like this guy.
Well, Heinz Smith, he just wants your expert opinion.
He's a slime ball.
Should we talk to Roby?
Might as well, since we're here. I can show him my tattoos.
Yeah, so he thinks about those. He thought you were bluffing when you said
Because he seems to be connected at least to Keaton Yellow, which seems to be the common connection between all of this. And he's a little bit more sane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try the old trick on Roby if they allow us.
Alright, we go visit Roby.
Okay. He is sleeping. Dr. Heinz Smith
Acceptable.
says that he'll permit Hugh to wake him if he uses gentle means, but to be very careful. And advises you he is a patient, although he's not restrained as someone like Harrywell is.
Get no sleep because of y'all. You ain't getting no sleep because of me.
knock on the door.
Okay. He remains slumbering. I mean, the door's open for
He
you.
had a late night of murdering, so he's sleeping
Yeah,
during
he's
the
all
day.
tired.
Arms are tired.
Inspect his body.
More like cutting.
Okay. He responds to the touch, and you see him just open his eyes wide, kind of slowly study the surroundings of his cell. Sees you here.
Mr. Roby, this is...
He just shuffles uncomfortably and grabs for one of his poetry books and begins reading.
What are you reading?
He does not respond.
He'll respond if I rip that book in half.
Say, it appears that the devil returned last night. Or was it the King in Yellow?
His eyes perk up at this, but then he just shakes his head at your suggestion.
What did you think of Frederick Long? Was he nice to you?
You see him turn the page of his poetry book.
Show him. Show him what you've done.
Okay. He
Power of the King in Yellow compels you.
all right.
Reveal.
He sees your hands and he like takes his hands and just clasps them over it, and you see him shake like in approval. And then he goes back to his book.
What book is he reading?
He is reading The Freaks, An Idyll of Suburbia by Pinero.
Are you familiar with it?
It's a poetry anthology.
Maybe you know it.
I bet if you started reciting some of
Can
that
I use
shit,
my skill to see if I'm familiar with it, or is it something that I would just be familiar with it? Somewhat. As
I think it's
failed poetry.
I think it's from Roman times.
you probably wrote it, you pansy.
He says, Dr. Hinesmith steps forward and says, well, looks like this is won't be as productive as last time. You see, he seems to be feeling, not regretting letting you in, but starting to feel uncomfortable the longer this goes on.
One last thing. I'm gonna whisper in Big's ear and say, he thinks you're the King in Yellow, so maybe you could command him to do something like reveal. Say,
Yo, what?
maybe what happened, or like what, like maybe the time has come. Tell him about
Yes.
something. Tell us about what happened.
Alright, good. Alexander, the time has come for you to talk. Tell them what has occurred here.
He looks at you intently, and then his eyes often looking at your knuckles. And he says, he'll repeat part of what he said to you earlier. Are you with Quarry?
Yes,
But he's not here.
he sent me.
Ah. Well, the time will be soon, but it is not now. Very soon. You understand.
Of course I understand. But these do not. They are unenlightened.
He says, they should look to Carcosa. And he goes back to reading.
Alright.
Okay.
Let's get out of here.
Alright. It is possible to still return to London if you immediately proceed to the train station. Otherwise, you'll have to spend another night in this Hereford area.
for us.
You want to go to Taiwan?
Maybe.
Those are the two options, I think.
Studs would have to return his book before that, or risk the wrath of the playwright.
I feel like we're no closer to
Bail it
solving
from
anything.
the boat.
Like just.
I know.
And
It's only been like 5 days, Sean.
Yep.
I have 5 more days.
I know.
Other than just we know.
I mean, this asylum's clearly like the nexus.
Yeah,
So I think there's a connection between Alex's sister's murder and these guys' murders because they were all stabbed with an abundance of blood, but the father is the outlier, being drained.
Why don't we go to the Roby house?
Yeah, it seems like Roby is the epicenter because they all happen around him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So if we assume they're all
That'll take a little time to find out where that residence is. You don't have that information. Trollope might. In fact, Trollope
we can
almost
break
certainly
into
I mean, I would
This
feel
might
like
be-
the family doctor probably
Yeah,
does.
he does. He does. Yeah.
That'd be a good time for a follow up with Trollope.
Yep.
Get a break into
The
his
murder
head.
is like a good excuse for
Yep.
like
Yeah.
more urgency.
All right.
Yeah.
He refuses
We stab him.
Okay.
with our confessions.
You make it back to London by about 9 o'clock, or back to your residence by 9:30 that night. As you make it to your home, I'll take a spot hidden from everyone.
Cabby. Back to finish the job.
Oh, wow.
I actually
I
succeeded.
got 25 out of 25.
I got 20 out of 25.
Studs sees nothing.
Fucking Morgan.
What a failure.
Books.
All right. As he's parking the car, or you're parking the car, I think you usually drive. Okay, yeah. Parking the car, going home. You see down the street, there seemed to have been a gentleman watching the entrance to your home, and the moment you look his way, you see him just tucked down the alley.
I sprint after
Oh, yes.
fucking suplex him. For looking at the Gaines home?
What
Hell
you looking
no.
at?
We built that home.
Alright.
Now we're gonna see what's what.
He doesn't have combat stats.
Of course not.
He's gonna need him.
Alright. As you sprint, you see him in the adjoining street. He's just kind of walking in the opposite direction. You continue pursuing him.
Oh yeah.
Alright. He hears your footsteps and he turns. Are you just bull rushing, or are you gonna...
Oh yeah, I'll tackle.
Okay, here we go. Are you guys like following after him, or are you just gonna let Big do his thing and...
Maybe at leisurely pace.
Yeah, I would say I walk as
With your
as an
head
old
in a book.
nerd. Yeah, no, I wouldn't run. That's not
Okay.
Morgan's theme.
As you draw in and are about to make the grapple, you see he is like in self-defense. You know, you see he's definitely reaching for something in his pocket.
Oh, he's not gonna have a chance.
Okay,
You reach, I teach.
we'll go to the grapple table.
You guys see what the laser gun stats
Yeah.
are.
Oh God,
Plasma
minigun.
rifle.
From the future.
I know the grapple kind of works like the resistance table. It's based on like size and stuff. Yeah, grapple.
Good.
No, I know.
That's what
Could
I
you-
like to hear.
What was the max of size you could do? 18 was the max?
Yeah. 3 6s. It's an incredible roll. And I have 99 grapple and 99 martial arts, so good luck to this man.
The only thing that he can do is beat you in the speed race. Can you grapple him before he can shoot you in the face?
I can take a shot or two.
Don't call me big for nothing.
I got 16 HP.
Grapple is an especially complex skill and
right.
deserves close study.
I
God.
mastered it.
Okay. Only a grapple can parry another grapple.
Yeah. Let's see
Okay,
him
so
grapple.
you roll your grapple.
When he rolls a grapple. You almost
99.
fail it.
That's a fumble.
That's a 99 out of 99.
Okay. See how
Is
he
it really a
does.
fumble for grapple?
Maybe not. We'll see how he does.
Because otherwise, why wouldn't you just have 98 as your max skill?
Yeah.
That's true. Okay. His threshold of success was actually higher than yours.
Okay.
So you guys kind of lock for a moment and then he disengages.
Or he slipped right out of you?
Yeah, I mean, he had to sprint after
Slippery
him.
Pete.
Yeah. You see he's got a knife and says, "Back off."
I'm gonna jack him in the chin.
Okay, then we will have proper combat here.
I think I'm scared of some knife.
Okay. What's your dex?
7.
Okay.
Oh.
He gets to go first.
Yeah, it's my worst
Yeah.
thing. Besides power.
Alright, you see him come in and he
He's gonna dodge that shit.
okay. Let's get your dodge.
Down it. Damn. I like your roll. 69.
Yeah.
You gonna die.
30 damage from this plasma knife.
Plasma knife.
Okay. He knifes you
Uh-huh.
for 4 damage.
You don't have 16 health anymore.
It's a deep cut.
Yep. And he says, "You get a lot worse if you keep at it." And he's kind of like backpedaling.
I'm gonna try and get him in a headlock.
All right.
I'm gonna use my son.
There we go.
Okay.
19. So that's good for grapple and martial arts. You're not losing any sons today.
Actually, instead of following along, I think I'm gonna go to the house. Take a nap. No, I want to get my gun. I want to go get my gun. To the house.
This will be resolved by the time you get your gun.
If it's not,
Okay.
it will be.
Don't worry, Morgan Gaines will come and I'm not going to help you.
Throw your book at him.
At best, I'm going to scream, "Stop."
Stop! Don't hurt my brother.
They don't appreciate you doing my own character voice. As I straight through my glasses.
Stop!
Oh.
Calculate how much I
No,
fucked this guy
man, I
up.
got bad news. I'll let you change your action if you want.
Okay.
To get a tax opportunity.
Once you fail the grapple once, you always
A
fail.
grapple must succeed in the first round
What?
and not.
You can never grab someone
Again?
again?
He slipped on, man.
Now I'm terrified to touch him
He's got
again.
your number. He knows you.
I mean, alright.
Yeah,
I mean, the probability
The
of
grapple
you failing is
is
Pretty-
very low. Yeah.
and you happen
So
to.
I don't think it's gonna. I think right now it's too difficult with him with the knife right there. So
Alright.
I encourage you to
I'll
do a
change
different
it to a
action.
fist. then.
Okay.
You want me to re-roll?
Yes.
That's some bullshit.
No, you can. If it's a success for fist, you can keep it.
It was.
Yeah. Then keep the
Yeah.
success. That's
Okay.
fine.
Alright, so then I do 2d3 plus 1d4. Where did D3 go?
I've got like a cinnamon cake type dessert. If you guys want some, that's what I was eating here. It's I think it's definitely worth a small slice. I've got
8
plates.
damage.
Holy
Good
shit!
one.
Pow!
Put a dent in his
Enough of your
skull.
knife.
No, stop, yeah, 'cause
That's right.
Don't bring a knife to a fist fight.
That's right.
Idiot.
Slam his head into the wall.
Okay. Yeah, like blood. His blood like splatters against the wall from your punch. He's not dead, but he's like.
Oh,
he
keep
couldn't.
him up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn him into that
Get it
werewolf
low.
guy.
Get his knife.
Turn him into a little penis.
Take his
talk.
knife away.
Are you trying to get answers out of him? Like, did he set up?
Oh,
the house?
yeah.
Did he put traps in the house? Am I gonna blow up?
That's what we want to know.
You know.
Help! I'm being attacked!
Just step on his throat.
Is he on the ground?
He's not on the ground yet. You guys are in the alley. You saw your son just...
He went back to the house.
Oh, okay.
Grabbed
Then
his
you've
gun.
made it to the alley.
Yeah.
You see violence going on.
Can I grapple him yet?
Can only do that once. Even if he's
I'd say-
unconscious,
I'd
he
say if he
failed.
attempts to disengage, you could grapple him again. And I need to decide if he
Okay.
what he would do right now.
Thomas is disengaging.
I know.
Once blood came out, he can't handle that.
Okay.
I tell Biggs to stop it. He started it.
Gaines boys finish things.
I don't know when he even started.
He was watching us.
Alright. You see we might have entertained flight for a moment, but his teeth lock in hatred, and he's gonna try and come at you with the knife again.
Shit out of there.
Okay.
Yo, yeah, 19.
19 out of what?
65.
Okay. It misses. But he is still engaged in combat with you, so no grapple right now.
Alright. I'll punch him again.
Alright.
Oh.
Gotta end this. Yep. 2.
Hey, he needs to have a pretty good dodge here. Nope.
He's dead.
Could be a low roll.
Yeah.
3 damage. These will just love tap.
Okay.
He did 12 damage to this man.
You see him just keel over and
Dead?
he's not dead.
Good.
You see him like faintly breathing.
Okay. I'll put him over my shoulder.
Good. I was just about to suggest. I want to come around the corner with my shotgun and say, "Bring him inside."
Yeah. We're gonna do some talking.
So you were gonna take him into your home.
That's right.
He was looking at our house.
Okay.
You will answer.
As you reach the street,
Yeah.
he would turn down one, so you're coming back. There is a constable coming down the street.
Well, you can handle the talking.
With your shotgun in hand.
Say he tried to break into our home.
Yeah, I'll go talk to the constable.
Say we caught him trying to break in.
I'm not the
and he
one
ran.
with the shotgun. And
Nope.
he's carrying.
Well, Thomas is in the home.
Oh yeah, I guess
He's
I-
carrying
okay, so I'm not
he's
even
carrying a body.
Is it clear that the constable sees that he's carrying a body?
Well, he's heard. He's gonna see what's going on with. He heard the shout, like a shout, so
Yeah.
he's coming. Okay, he does notice. Good lord, sir, do you have a body in your hands?
Well, it's still alive.
He was trying to break into our house, and we caught him in the act as we were arriving home.
Okay.
And he attacked my brother here, Biggs, with a knife. So he was defending himself.
Show him cut.
Okay.
Fresh.
Okay. I'll take. Studs, what's your fast talk value?
60.
Okay, you can add 10 to that, and then roll your fast talk.
44.
He says, "Oh, good work there, chap. We'll take him down to the station. You can just set him down right there. Got to make sure he doesn't bleed out. He looks in rough shape. You can receive medical assistance too, sir." And you see him. He gets his police whistle, and you see he's like signaling for help.
What if you don't press charges? Can we keep him?
Can't they keep him? That is like such a.
That is actually exactly how the law works. I don't want to press charges, but he is now
He
my
says,
hostage.
No,
He says, and given light of the circumstances this evening, maybe you'd come with us to the station. There's been a problem nearby.
Nearby.
Uh-oh.
Well, in near St. James Park.
Name ring a bell in any of our investigation?
Nope.
Well, what's the
What
problem?
does that have to
You're
do
still
with
in
me?
a house.
We're on the lookout for a suspect.
Well, we've been at the asylum. With
I'm not accusing you, sir, but since there's been an incident here, I better report it. If you'd be so kind.
All right.
Okay.
I'll go get Papa.
Yeah, you'll want to get Papa.
You're dragging me into this.
You're not my sons. You're dead to me. You got caught.
Yeah, caught.
Um, you go to the local station with the officers. The man you incapacitated is kept from dying. He was actually at 1 HP, so I mean that.
Good.
Yeah, it was pretty much perfect. Yeah.
See the yellow sign.
That constable.
They guide me.
He'd be in our basement right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, good thing.
Open
Good thing for
brain
that
surgery on this
constable.
guy.
Okay.
Head in a vice.
12 gauge to his chest.
You are
You don't look.
you are sat down.
Gates house.
You are sat down in a waiting room,
Okay.
and you wait for about an hour.
Oh my god.
Don't look at the games.
At which point, Detective Inspector Andrew Taylor introduces himself. Criminal Investigation Department. Of the New Scotland Yard on the embankment.
I liked the old one.
Yes. He sits down across from you and asks you, I believe from what I've been informed by my officers on the street, I have you to thank, good sir. You were attacked by a man wielding a knife, as I understand, and you subdued him.
That's correct.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to that account? He puts an address in front of you, and you recognize it as your home address, and he says, the incident occurred outside of this building?
Yes, that's the Gaines Manor.
Oh yes, you're a psychologist of some note, I believe. He turns to you. Hugh Gaines, yes?
Yes, yes.
Oh.
This hoodlum was outside our house when we got home. We looked to it was unsuspicious, breaking in perhaps.
Yes. Well, we are examining the knife by which he attacked you with.
Dipped in poison.
I hope not.
There was a fatal stabbing in St. James Park this evening, and pending how our investigation goes, you may be in a good deal of gratitude for what you've done.
Oh wow.
Good.
The victim has just been identified as a Dr. Lionel Trollope.
Oh!
There was a newspaper boy first on the scene, and once we're able to track him down, bring him in, we're going to see if he can make a positive identification. He said he saw a tall man running away from the now deceased Dr. Trollope.
That fits the profile.
This tall fuck.
Yeah, running all the time.
Yes. So again, we can provide you with transportation to the hospital, sir, if you'd like some treatment or some hot coffee while we sort through this.
All right.
You ain't got time to.
Would you like to receive medical treatment?
Why not?
Okay.
Why?
I got stabbed for a fourth of my health.
He took a lot of damage. Why? We need to go to the Trollope's house.
In fact,
What?
here. So I'm going to see to it that you get your treatment, sir. We'll be right back. So he leaves with Hugh.
Okay.
While he leaves with Hugh, you see a young boy escorted into the room as well.
Wait, who leaves with you?
An officer.
Detective
So
Inspector.
I leave with you, and now you're talking
Yeah,
to him.
and an officer.
No.
It seems like this common room is just being
A
used for
detective.
multiple this waiting room.
A detective left with you. We're still in the waiting room.
Yep.
You being me.
No.
Alright, sorry, Biggs. The doctor.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry, I meant to say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, Biggs.
Okay.
Okay. A police officer kind of pats the boy on the shoulders and says, "Yeah, one of your sons, sir. He took care of that man. One of our suspects.
Yes.
He the newspaper boys is waiting as they get the body, or not the body, but as they get the guy ready for identification. He says, "Tall chap, right?"
Yes. Tall, dark,
Ran.
if he was dark.
Could have been real dark.
Flashback. He was dark.
He was running constantly.
Yes, he's in custody right now. Now, are you here to identify him or Trollope? Was Trollope already confirmed?
He's that doc. I saw him running away from the doctor you mentioned.
Running away from the doctor?
Yeah, I think he did the deed.
Oh, okay.
He says, I've never seen a body like that before, and you can tell he's clearly shaken up. He says, but they told my folks that I have to stay here until I point him out.
Yes, good lad.
You can roll a d4, Mang.
So
much
much
sanity
sanity.
was-
Yeah.
2.
Okay, you immediately recover 2 HP at the hospital,
Alright.
and then you'll be able to recover HP at the normal rate from there.
Alright.
You have about half an hour further waiting at the waiting room for the two of you. The newspaper boy introduces himself as Tommy and asks what you guys do for a living.
I'm a psychiatrist. These are my boys.
He's not there right now. He's getting medical treatment, so
This is
you
my
just got your
boy.
poet with you. Right?
This is
He's
one of my boys.
He's a
Poet.
poet.
Is that what you do for a living?
It is.
Yeah, that's why I have no money.
Yep. That's perfect.
I thought it worked out really well.
Yeah, he says, yeah, I just, I saw the man, Dr. Trollope, you said his name was? Yeah, he was down, in the park, and, I ran and got the police. I thought that was the right thing to do.
It is.
Yep. Okay, at this, by the time Biggs is brought back, they have the suspect ready for identification. He's behind like a glass panel.
What's left of him?
Yep. The detective inspector comes back into the room. Tommy immediately says, "Oh, that's the guy. That's the guy. Same hair, same jacket." And so he says, "All right, lad. Very good. You can run off now." And you see him kind of look back, and he says, "You're the guy who took him out?"
That's right.
He says, "Look at the muscles on you."
Make sure you drink your milk.
Drink Ovaltine.
Okay. I'll take a spot hidden just from Big.
This kid
Yep.
taking my wallet.
He has the yellow sign.
Maybe.
He is.
Slim odds. Missed by 3. That
Damn,
would have been
no.
awesome.
Would you like to burn luck?
Whoa.
I think I want to allow that as a mechanic for now. It's up to you.
I mean, it never comes up
Yeah,
anyway.
I never
so
know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, you can burn luck to make it a success.
Alright.
I'm not always going to allow it, but in certain situations where it'll be beneficial for the narrative.
This kid's taking my wallet.
No, he's not. You see, he is nervously fidgeting with something small in his hand.
What you got there, boy?
Oh God.
Show big.
Show Big what you hiding.
He says, "Oh, right. Okay." You see in his hand There's he kind of like shows it to you. He says, I think this fell off that guy you clocked out when he was running away from the doctor. And it's like kind of it's a little reed made of like some kind of odd bone, a dark colored bone, and as you see it, it actually looks like a little whistle. He says, I don't know have the faintest idea what that is. It's on like a little string, and he says, but I shouldn't have kept it. I'm sorry.
I will blow into it.
Okay.
And we're gonna beat the shit out of the Shogoth that appears.
I'm exactly what I was thinking anyways. That's what was going to happen.
It's so good. Actually, it'd probably be like a
One of those brain things.
Buster.
or Biaki.
Is that the flying monkey?
I don't think it's a monkey.
I think he meant Bukaki.
Yeah, did you mean Bukaki? You could go to Taiwan.
You get plenty of Bukaki there.
Meet the real king in yellow. Yellow. The yellow king. Chinese emperor.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, what form of government do they have now?
What, in Taiwan?
Part of China? Well, is Taiwan part of China?
It's part of Asia.
At some point. I don't know
Yeah,
about
what's
the
the
20s.
what's the modern Chinese government?
We could find out right now if we just got on a plane.
You're gonna learn firsthand. As you want.
Ziggy will tell us all about the government of China.
Okay. The whistle makes like kind of like a almost imperceptible but unpleasant squealing noise. And everyone in the room just finds it very abrasive.
How does Big find it?
Similar. It's not. I mean, there's something cathartic about finding this strange whistle and just blowing on it immediately, but
It's a rape whistle, I think.
yeah. The moment it was put into your hands,
Yeah.
you gain 1 power, and both of you guys recover 1 sanity each.
Oh my god!
You gain a power?
You gained a power.
Slowly but surely.
Permanent fucking power?
Yep.
We'll reach
Just
18
for having
power.
this whistle.
For blowing it.
For being the one to recover it.
What's the whistle again? Just he found it.
Do I recover a sanity?
You guys hear like
gained a fucking power.
scraping and
I don't
thudding.
know if that doesn't affect my current sanity.
I know, but that's pretty impressive.
No, if you gain power, it immediately increases your sanity by 5.
Max or current?
Oh yeah, it would be your max sanity.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Dad's got a lot of work to do.
But it does increase your magic points.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
That's true.
You're never gonna learn it.
Okay.
I'll learn it.
Yeah. So
Somehow.
there's clearly something going on the roof of this building, and you see Detective Inspector kind of motion for some of his officers to go check it out.
Oh god.
He says, "That's odd. Well, looks like we've got our man for the murder. I will be needing contact information and addresses for follow-up if need be, but looks like you boys have helped us out tremendously. I'm sure you'll want to know a bit more when we interrogate this chap, so as a courtesy, I'll share with you what we learn."
Alright.
Yes, thank you very much.
Does this thing have like you said it had a string?
Yes, it's broken at one end, so like at some point maybe it was like torn off somebody's neck or
It
something.
sounds like
Fit
there's
around my neck?
Oh, certainly. You'll need to just repair the string though,
Yeah.
which you could do just by tying a knot at the end of
I
it. so.
want this on my
Is
body.
there anything remarkable
Get a
about
tattoo
the
of it.
whistle? Or is it just a
Again, it's like made from like some shiny dark bone that
Dark.
that you've never quite seen, but I mean it's just like a long skinny whistle.
Long, skinny, dark bone.
And you said there's something on the roof right now?
Well, that's what the Detective Inspector presumed because you could hear like scraping and thudding like coming from above.
It's not any concern of ours.
No.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That was my
That's
phone
a concern
vibrating.
of ours.
That was my phone
Yeah,
vibrating.
Now guess we go home now.
Yeah.
The work is done, except from Trollop.
We should definitely break into Trollop's house.
Alright. Let's do it up. Aren't there going to be police there? Oh, maybe
The
not.
murder didn't happen
He
at
was
his house.
just murdered. Now, if we're found breaking into his house, I feel like that implicates
But
us.
they've got the
They got
culprit.
the culprit.
Let's not cast doubt on that.
I mean, I don't think it was actually that guy, but they do.
Of course it was that guy. The
Why
boy
wouldn't it?
identified.
They do. That is a strong point for the case against him. That the newsboy identified him.
And
as
the fact the guy was at our house right afterwards.
Yep.
True.
Hey. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a game night, so I'll call you in a little bit. Okay, bye. I'm fine with breaking in.
So I think it would. Yeah, I mean, I think the guy definitely killed him. He was trying to kill us because we met with Trollop. We must have been too close to something.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wish I knew what Trollop knew.
Which way breaking in
his
is,
house.
I think, is our best.
It's the only way we're getting information
Now we
from
will
him.
have to kill his butler.
We don't have to kill his butler.
Why would we not have to kill his
Why would his
Why
butler
would we
still
have
be
to kill
there?
his butler?
His butler lives there.
Why would we have to kill him?
So we take a hike,
What are we gonna say to him?
give him money. We don't have to kill him. Just we'll wear masks.
Okay.
Tell
You
him.
knock him out.
Alright.
Just tell him
Okay.
the truth. Or not
Maybe the butler will actually just help us because.
I mean, we're investigating Trollop's murder because the guy was probably going to try to murder us.
Okay.
And we think it's related to
We
the
could try to be
case.
straightforward. I think the butler will
Alexander.
see our way.
Now what if he doesn't?
Knock
And he's
him
like,
out.
get the fuck out of here.
Knock him out.
Okay, then
Come
we're
back
not.
with
But then
masks.
he sees our face. Oh, no.
He already
That's
We
a little obvious.
leave and then beat him up later.
I think we have to.
I don't think we kill him. I think
Nothing short of murder will.
he'll see our way.
Alright,
Yeah.
but if he doesn't, there's gonna be trouble for that guy. That's all I'm saying. That doesn't end easily.
Well, not for him. For us, we get the same result.
Yeah.
Getting in that house.
We're getting in that house.
Okay. As you leave the waiting room, there's like a frenzy going on at the police station. You see officers running all over the place. The secretarial staff are like hiding under their desks.
What's going on?
And Detective Inspector Taylor says, he says, "Stay in the waiting room." And you see he has his gun drawn.
Oh my
God. What's going on?
There's been sightings on the roof, and you see him run for the stairwell.
I'll blow the whistle again.
Wait, there's one in there?
Oh, did you summon those?
I don't know what I did.
What's in the room? The waiting room?
Nothing's in the waiting room. You guys are on the ground floor of the police station, but there's all hell's breaking loose on the roof right now, apparently.
Don't blow the whistle.
I did. I said the words.
Oh.
Why do you think it's related?
Because it's called Cthulhu.
That's metagaming.
I know. Don't know why you would blow the whistle again, though. Like, you just... Like,
Do you
this is
suspect it? Like
trying-
you want to find out if it is or not?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, you hear like a bevy of gunfire coming, like several rounds of shot happening, screaming, and I don't know, about 2 minutes after that, the sounds subside, and you hear like ambulance sirens coming.
You want to go up?
No.
I want to wait till I get word that it's safe out there.
Why would we go up?
I don't know. There's something weird going on. Isn't that what we're doing? We're investigating weird stuff?
I'm not a fighting man.
We don't know if this is
You have a
related.
gun?
Not with me.
Didn't you bring it with?
It's my house gun. Why would I bring it with?
You brought it out of the house.
Why would I?
You never actually got out of the house.
Well, no, I brought it to take care of the business, but why would I bring my shotgun to the police
I don't
station?
know.
Yeah, I don't think you would
It's
have.
Call of
the
Cthulhu.
That's metagaming.
I wish I had it, but I just don't think it makes any sense for me to have it.
Well,
I'm
maybe
not-
you can
I'm-
take a dead cop's gun.
I'm not going up there.
I don't know how to use guns.
The cops are trained to handle this.
Don't you want to see?
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't want to
We'll
risk
see
You
the
can write
wreckage.
at home about it. We could be sneaky.
Let's just walk out and see if the cops let us out. Like if it's all clear.
Okay.
All right, were you attempting to go
Just out.
out of the building?
Yeah.
You're allowed to leave.
Do I see?
Medical staff are coming in as you're leaving.
Do I see any? Do we see anything crazy? Like, do
On
we
the-
try
On
we
the
try to
street
look-
level?
Or like we'll look up, you know, like yeah, street level, and we look up at the roof.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll spot hidden. Everyone looking up at the roof.
Yeah, everyone. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm looking up.
Oh yeah, 11.
Nope.
6. So I got it too.
Okay. You guys see
Your old eyes.
a black speck moving towards the moon. Like high up in the sky. And that's it. Okay. You see like a little bit of a sporadic reaction to it, but it doesn't descend.
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Stop blowing that whistle.
Why? It didn't do anything.
It felt like it. I mean, it reacted to it a little bit, right?
It's just because it's kind of annoying.
Could we hear the whistle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does make a noise. It's just at a very high frequency.
Unfortunately, I don't gain sanity back every single time we go
Oh no. One time thing. Yep.
Whistle ever.
Well,
Well, let's ask people who were firing at it. Like, what the hell happened?
why would they tell us?
We were here.
Well, why don't we?
Now that you've left the police station, it looks like they're locking it down.
Can we ask? I'm gonna ask back. Like, what was that out there?
Who do you ask?
Is there a policeman like at the gates or like?
Now there's one posted at the doors.
Okay.
He's saying, I wasn't there, but I can't allow you to re-enter at this point. It's we're trying to return to your home.
All right.
We should just get back.
Let's head to the
Police and
Who cares what
man's
happened here?
house.
Just go to trial.
paramedics.
Yeah, let's
We go straight to Trollop's house.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No masks.
Busting that stupid
Bare
nerd.
face.
Teach that butler a lesson.
Teach him a thing or
It's
two
like
about how to keep home.
How to protect his person.
Better not be there.
Okay.
Butlers absolutely live in the same house.
But that's only the place where Trollope had his meals. So
At his address, you find that you can see the lights on inside the house.
no one's home.
No, you hear footsteps as you knock on the door. Is it the police again?
It's Hugh. Hugh Gaines.
The doctor?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. She opens the door.
Oh, it was a woman.
The housekeeper. Yep.
It wasn't a butler.
Oh well.
A she butler.
Yeah.
A butler.
She says,
Butler-esque.
"Oh, terrible, terrible." She's like on the verge of tears.
Yes, it is. I heard what happened. He the
He
killer-
always would walk at night.
Oh, so he would always go to the park. Well,
Who would do this? Such a thing?
we actually
Madman.
found him.
What?
He was. We found him at our house,
Yeah.
sneak poking around. But luckily, my son Big apprehended him.
Beat him with an inch of his life.
You did that?
Oh yeah. I'd do it again.
And he's in police custody.
I would never have hoped for such swift justice.
And then the police told us what had happened to Trollope, and I must.
That
felt
reminds
there-
me. He had given me a letter. I was going to send it to you tomorrow. And she goes inside.
he said
So
it.
dark.
He motioned it.
No. Emotions aren't sane.
All right. Have fun deciphering the handwriting here, guys.
Oh God.
Like, remember that one last
Yeah.
week? This is
I could
worse.
read like 5
Yeah,
words.
Now,
from that
fortunately, your phone does have a zoom-in feature, so if you kind of piece together, you might be able to make it out. Oh God, it's two pages too.
Oh.
one. Oh, they're gonna be sideways too.
So sad.
No, they're not sideways.
Dear sir, it couldn't even be personalized.
Oh my
It's addressed to Thomas. You can substitute Thomas for Hugane.
I don't even know what the second word is.
I write this
Yep.
first.
Thomas
Oh,
is
God
damn
damn
good
it.
at this.
I read water without the E.
Yeah.
I write this.
Lost?
Boost.
Fast.
Mobile.
Fast?
That's
Fast.
not an F.
Fast upon
Oh, that is
your
an
leaving
F.
our meeting. I'm going to be frank. Please pardon any difficulties I cause. I'm not certain of Dr. Hinesmith's motives in this case, but I sense of curiosity. I sense a curiosity in you in which I have decided to place my trust. Find myself in need to unburden myself of things that I have left unsaid. I hesitate to put these on paper, but nevertheless I proceed. Okay. Let's see.
Contrary.
To
Yeah.
possible appearance.
Yes. I am anxious to...
Alexander. Help Alexander.
Yes, to help Alexander. His father was a good friend. No, not a frau.
Proud.
Friend of mine, so I have...
Known him.
Sure.
I've known him
Since
since he was a small boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a decent, gentle, young fellow who...
Loves.
Oh, what?
No.
who is, I
Who
think...
was?
Oh, yeah.
Who was what?
Who was? What?
I think...
Who was
Oh, who was?
It's
I
an,
think,
it's an incomplete thought right now.
fallen in.
Oh, with
Who
circumstances...
has?
Yeah, who has fallen
has,
in with
I think.
circumstances that...
Yeah, it's who has.
Who has, I think, fallen in.
with circumstances
that misuse him, something like
Yeah.
that.
Odd phrase.
Okay.
misuse him.
Yeah. All right. I will talk of my first. I'll talk of my first visit to Alexander and St. Agnes in June of 1927. Dr. Hinesmith told me he was.
Oh God,
What the fuck?
that's 3 U's. That's so...
Unmedicated.
Yes.
Oh my
Good job,
god.
Thomas.
Wow,
That's an M.
goddamn. Did you see the third U?
Yeah.
Unmedicated and
Lucid.
yeah, but
And I frowed.
Proud.
found this to be the case despite. Oh, good lord.
Some.
Periodic confusion.
On his part.
Yes. Very nice.
But his conversation was odd indeed.
Indeed. Yes.
There's no way that word is conversation. That's ridiculous.
He seemed quite unlike the young man I knew.
Yes. One of the few.
Referees.
References.
Yeah.
What the?
Oh
Man?
my.
do this?
Man? What?
What do we
Let me see if I can give you an abridged version.
One of the
Few references.
in our talk in our
That
talk.
R is just a dot.
that I could make sense of refer to the book we
authored.
authored.
Yeah.
Who authored it?
He authored.
Oh, that he authored.
He
on
wrote
Return
it.
to London.
And
Okay,
upon my return to London, I undertook to look
add it.
at it.
You may be aware that 5 or 6 years ago, Alexander published a volume called The Walker by the Lake. I had
Never
picked it up before. I believe that it would be difficult for me to digest. But though much within it was indeed bizarre or puzzling,
Somehow, it held me.
yes, certain words and phrases reminded me of Alexander's...
I think you skipped the word.
I did. Reminded me of Alexander's talk
Therein, maybe.
yeah, at the roof of his...
Roof capacity.
Or root of his... I don't know.
Yeah. Did you skip a line?
So, certain words and phrases there reminded me of Alexander's talk.
At the asylum.
Oh, yeah,
I
thank
can
you.
see that these writings spoke to the root of his of his incapacity.
Yes,
The rod.
nice. Good job, Meg. Okay.
Rod, fraud.
Oddly,
Sea house.
Yeah, I see
It's
seahorse
clearly
too.
seahorse. God.
Oddly, C. It's definitely C. C. What the?
I mean,
Can't be
okay,
seen.
it just basically says like the book was in German.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I transcribed and later translated these passages.
Sections of the book.
There you go.
There you go. My second visit to Alexander was about 6 months.
Oh, Ren says there should be easy to read versions in the appendix.
That should help.
He's watching us.
No, Ren, this is critical to my experiences.
No backseat gaming.
I mean,
Ren.
Ren
God.
probably read the book, so
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
that would be a big help.
So we sit here.
Have a fucking
Session
connection.
3 of Call of Cthulhu will be the end of this letter.
See-
Okay,
Seahorse
here we go.
and
Here we go.
crowds.
I will read it to you.
Okay.
Oh, okay, thank God.
Okay. Oddly, sections of the narrative were in German. I transcribed and later translated these passages. My second visit to Alexander was about 6 months after the visit, just before Christmas. On this occasion, I found him sedated and correspondingly uncommunicative. Anxious that my journey not be a fruitless one, I thought to try an experiment. I had brought some papers with me, transcriptions of his book, and I began to read out one of the German passages in that language. I'm not sure what I expected from this. I suppose I was merely seeking a reaction of some kind. I stumbled over the phrases. I am not skilled at languages, but then Alexander responded. He spoke the text along with me. As he did, I stopped reciting myself and tried to engage him. What happened next is difficult for me to say. He kept speaking now, and I could see he was overly excited, so I was reaching out to touch his shoulder. As I did, I suddenly felt very weak, and the next thing I knew, I was lying on the floor. I was inexplicably panicked. The madhouse attendant was down on one knee, giving me assistance, and Alexander stood above us. His face was his old one, and very sad. I am very sorry, doctor. I cannot change what you saw. And then I remembered what that was. I will tell you that I think Alexander knows how his father and sister died, and that their deaths were a result of events involving a person or persons using him. It seems Alexander came particularly under the influence of a Mr. Lawrence Bacon. Mr. Bacon is an antique merchant with premises in Liverpool Road, Islington, but I believe he may also be a self-styled occultist. This information was gained at the behest of Alexander's brother, Graham, through a private detective hired in Wapping, a Mr. Vincent Tuck. I think Alexander would seek out Mr. Bacon again if released. Bears mentioned that I am unsure that these matters had nothing to do with Alexander's courtship with Miss Hartson, no matter what you might have been told. I feel that I have done the right thing in sharing what I know, although I ask that you use discretion for the sake of Alexander's family and possibly for your own security. I urge you to read the book and to contact me again as soon as expedient. I will tell you more of the grounds for my suspicion of Mr. Bacon if you should consent to that meeting. And lastly, I bring myself to tell you what it was that I saw in the small cell in the asylum. As Alexander spoke, I was no longer there in the cell. I was walking in St. James's Park. I had just crossed the small suspension bridge to the south, across the lake, and I was looking along at the buildings on Whitehall. I have made this walk almost every night for the last 30 years, and there I was, and everything was just as it should be. I knew it was not a dream. It was in the detail and the normalcy. The mallards setting up their noise on Duck Island, and up ahead the paperboy calling. The sun was setting. I reached into my pocket for my penny for the Standard, and as I did, I heard a scuffled step behind me, and I turned. I saw a sharp-faced man, quite tall, and his eyes held mine. "Keep still, please, sir," he said, and I felt a sharp pain, and then I was falling. He helped me down as I clung to him. I closed my eyes, and when I reopened them, I was looking up at the sky, and there was the paperboy's white face, and I tried to say something to reassure him, but couldn't. And then I knew I was no more. The Lord took me. I hope to hear from you soon. Yours truly, Lionel Trollope.
So,
They could have. Oh,
this-
it's not his own death.
Alexander wrote a book, right? In
Yes.
German?
Hold on, more important.
And then he went there, he read some of the German, he repeated it, and then he touched him, and he foresaw his own death.
Yep.
But we also got this Lawrence Bacon guy.
So we need the book. We need to talk to Lawrence Bacon.
We're gonna be
And
making
we'll,
bacon.
Beat Lawrence Bacon with the book.
Yeah. That's how I like these books. What are your thoughts? I feel like a lot of that letter was like, as you clearly know, blah blah blah. It's
Yeah,
like,
he's like,
what?
Don't-
You wrote a book.
We're gonna. You wrote a book. You had a love interest.
Yeah, where did that come
Wait,
from?
he has another brother?
Yeah.
You wrote.
So he wrote a book
So he touched him and he had a vision?
Of his own death.
of his own death after he, like,
At first, I actually
Said
something crazy. I thought like literally that was just he was writing that to us. Like he saw this and I was like, whoa! So he wrote this letter
he wrote the letter
as a dead man, and I just had a flashback. Like, are we going crazy? I thought that's where this was going.
No.
No.
Okay, that would have been interesting.
What's the housekeeper's name?
I believe she has a name.
She doesn't need one, really.
No, she has a name. Mrs. Enid Hughes. She shares a surname with your first name, Thomas.
Hugh Enid.
Well, Hughes. Close enough. She says, well, I hope you found his letter to you helpful.
Yes.
As I said, I was just going to postmark it tomorrow. Terrible business. And she breaks down and sobs.
Was he working on anything recently?
Roby's been in the asylum. Or are you talking about Dr.
I guess
Trollope?
I'm talking to the housekeeper about Trollope. Yeah. Was he working on anything recently besides this Roby case?
She says, I was not privy to all of his appointments, but I don't believe so. I think he was very much consumed by this whole business with Alexander.
Okay.
Mind if we search the house?
I'm afraid that I do, sir.
What about just his work things? Because we are working on the same case right now. As a matter of fact, there seem to be dangerous people who, for some reason, want the truth of this to stay concealed. So, with him being murdered and after seeing that he was coming after us next, I just find it very important that we know as much as we can.
That's reasonable. You did bring him to justice after all. I will, his presumed killer. So, yes, you may take a look at his study.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
You just saved her life.
Okay. So you guys are gonna just look through all of his books and
Want to find the Alexander book.
Oh yeah, was he reading that thing?
He was reading it,
Yeah.
So that was
Gotta
the
have
key.
a copy.
So that's
he's
the
gotta
key
have
to
it.
get him
He's
to
gotta have
talk.
some
Yeah.
form
Reading
of
the
it.
book, I guess.
In German.
Then we just see our own deaths and then we're doomed.
I want to see our own deaths.
Yeah, I think I would want to see my own death, but that's not the main reason why I want it.
Do you mention specifically that you're looking for that book to the housekeeper?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Then you'll never find it.
Okay.
That's right. And you're done.
You guys can all use library use inside of Dr. Trollope's study.
My favorite.
That's a
Oh.
1.
I got a 1 out of 80.
Okay. Thomas, you know for a certainty that the book is not in anywhere in this house. You have, you have the instinctual power
Holy
the moment of
shit.
clarity.
I rolled a 50 out of 50.
You don't know nothing.
And just as a further benefit, you see the housekeeper pokes and says, if you're looking for Alexander's book, it's true. Dr. Trollope did have a copy for quite some time, but I believe he disposed of it after Alexander was committed to the asylum.
Permanently disposed.
Oh yes, I haven't the faintest idea what
I
happened.
mean, it was published, right?
Yeah.
So
It was.
If we can find it in another library.
go to wherever Morgan buys his pansy books. They gotta have a copy.
So I mean, is there anything? Are there is he have notes in here?
Yeah.
Or anything like that?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you rolled a 1, so
Start
I'll see if there's
rummaging
anything else successful, but, I mean, from a meta standpoint, obtaining this letter is by far the most important thing, as far as Dr.
I
Trollope
guess
is
it had
concerned.
somewhat of useful
Empty his
information. Empty is safe.
I can get his money.
Yeah.
How much money do you get?
Probably
what's
more
his
than-
credit
Do you
probably
wish,
more
do
than
you
that.
wish to attempt to rob the room? Because that wasn't the initial
no,
prerogative.
I don't
Is she
want to.
watching?
She poked her head in, but then dismissed herself.
Money is not what we need.
Biz went out.
Why? He's not gonna use it.
Gaines have plenty money.
There's probably
No.
family that this
I want the money
this stuff
he's
could go to. God damn it, Biggs.
Alright, that'd be
All right.
fine. I wouldn't be able to get into that safe anyways and just be smashing
You don't even know if there is a safe in there. You just know
it.
there
He's
must
gotta
be
have
a
a
safe.
safe.
All right. Thomas, you do see receipts from a few secondhand bookstores, which might give you a lead for where you might find a copy of the book. So,
Okay.
I'll say that's going to assist you if you take that route in looking for a copy of it. But you finished combing his office, and it looks like he's actually taken care not to have too much information written down or kept a lot of his records about his treatment of Alexander. So that letter that you possess will be the best written document of that.
Okay.
So I'm just going to overview a few things because I know I was just reading that as a narration. So you guys went over what was maybe an incantation or something on his second visit that he experienced. He did mention in the letter that Alexander's brother Graham hired a private detective, Vincent Tuck, in November of 1925 to follow Alexander and report on him.
That was before the murder.
Yes. Because you're keeping better track of your dates, so that's good that you know that. And then there's one other thing. He also mentioned I am sure that these matters had nothing to do with Alexander's courtship with Miss Hartson. No matter what you might have been told, he also mentioned.
Told nothing.
Yeah.
Who had that
And
information?
of course, one other thing I'll remind you, apart from the straight, and if you want to re-access this, I'll let you guys take a look at the page because it's all just on one page here. But he did also mention, seems Alexander came particularly under the influence of a Mr. Lawrence Bacon,
Oh, yeah.
an antique merchant with premises on Liverpool Road in Islington. And he had suspicions of Bacon that he is a self-styled occultist.
Yeah, I got all that.
Okay. So there you have it.
He's gonna see.
He's gonna have the
knuckles
book. He's gonna know about
up
it.
close.
So hold on, the book that Roby wrote is the one that he read
Yeah.
and had the
Yeah.
spell in it, basically, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He writes spells.
It might have not been him completely, though. You know, he's insane. He could be.
He's insane now.
now.
Yep.
Vincent Tuck is there? Or hold on,
Vincent Tuck. Yep.
Lawrence Bacon has something to do with this.
I'll try blowing the whistle
Okay.
as I look towards the moon.
Do you actually exit the house to do
Sure.
this? Okay.
So I get a good look at the moon.
Yeah.
What do you want?
You see that speck reappear,
I don't know.
and it's descending. It's growing larger in view.
You get to box it or something.
Okay. You see a creature swooping down at you. With a wingspan of at least 6 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, figure.
It has a long-toothed head with something like a horse's skull, chitinous claws on its 4 limbs, mottled green and black color highlighted by the moonlight, with wings with pink-brown surfaces.
Is it a Biaki?
Maybe.
I run back in the house.
I mean, was it just him that ran out?
Thought we were all
Are we
leaving.
still
Well, you
at-
guys,
we were leaving.
I'm assuming
Yeah,
your
I
business
think,
was
I think we were just
concluded.
leaving
Yes,
and
And I looked at the
Yeah, you
moon.
looked
Did
at
you
the moon.
summon this demon? I mean, is it fighting you or is it at your
I don't know.
service?
I don't care. I'm in the
I'm
house.
sure there's a sanity roll involved.
Yes.
Oh, I brought
yes.
him in the house too.
So, just Biggs outside right now?
Well, no, I would have seen the creature. That's what would have
As it was
caused me
descending, I
to.
probably
So
would
I'll
have
take
recoiled.
the sanity roll of seeing it. If that's what the
Not
sanity
up
roll,
close
but I'm
and
not
personal.
fighting it. I'm definitely running in the
You
house
saw it
as
though.
soon as I see it.
Okay, yep, you can roll sanity.
Hell yeah. boy.
There's no reason for me to run into the house.
Unless you saw it.
Unless I
Fate
saw
is
it.
already sealed.
Yeah. I mean, I know what happened with my sanity roll.
Yeah.
We all... No, he succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah,
see,
he's got to stay sane so he can help us.
You guys both succeeded?
No, he
No.
did.
Okay, Studs, you lose 1 sanity.
Nice.
You can roll d6, Big.
Oh, God.
We're fucking summoning it.
Welcome it. 5.
Okay, you
Damn
take
it.
5 sanity loss.
Oh, God.
That could be temporary insanity.
Yep.
You're below.
You have to roll your... what is it? Is it idea or is it no? And you want to roll... You want to fail. Because if you succeed, then you understand what you've seen. I think it's idea, because that's intelligence.
Why don't you just proceed?
Okay. Proceed with your sanity.
You succeeded.
I succeed. I know stuff. I'm a thinker.
He knows all about Bukkake.
So I understand
temporary-
the consequences of my actions.
Temporary insanity.
You know, but now you should know the whistle, and if you do it again, you know.
I mean, all that matters is that I don't like the look of it. I mean, so far that's all
Yeah,
we
I
know.
guess so far. Maybe it's gonna help us.
Maybe, yeah,
Maybe it serves the whistle.
right. Maybe we can send it to get Lawrence Bacon, bring his ass here.
Well, either way, I ran in.
Okay.
It's because you're a pansy.
Yup. I've made that character decision.
Roll a d10.
Oh, God. 4.
Okay, you're going to be babbling and incoherent, just a torrent of just...
Typical Biggs, then. What's so insane about that?
For,
That's what's so insane about it.
for an undetermined amount of time.
Okay.
The creature is hostile towards you.
Oh, God damn it.
Give him the whistle.
I'm gonna give him my knuckles.
Okay, it has initiative given what's happening to you and your condition.
Yeah,
Okay,
my condition.
yeah. See what condition your condition is in. Okay. You can roll your dodge.
That's a 59 out of 65.
Okay.
Or is that a 50?
That's a 56.
56.
Not that it matters too
No.
much.
Oh, big.
Okay. You're able to partially sidestep, but you're still gonna take some damage.
Mm-hmm.
Loses its damage bonus, so you take 6 damage.
Oh my God.
Its claws just rake a huge part of your flesh away.
As this is going on, can I yell to Miss Hughes and ask if Trollop had a gun by any chance?
No, he didn't! She senses something's amiss, and you see her like running downstairs.
But it's the first round, so
It
I
is.
can grapple.
You could grapple, yes.
Perfect.
I was like,
There you go. 42 out of 99.
you, okay.
Choke it out.
You grab hold of the creature. And that's actually quite an effective way to avoid its claw and bite.
Nice.
But not its penis.
It takes flight.
With him on it?
Yes.
Dude, he's some
Ride him
trouble.
all the way to Carcosa.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Ride him to the moon.
So you're gonna hold fast.
God, you're going
Yeah.
to die here.
Okay. It
There's character sheets right there for you.
I know.
okay. It flies perilously high.
Keep choking him. You should be trying to choke him out.
You stop your babbling about 2 minutes into the flight.
Okay.
It's cold up here and windy.
I'm gonna blow that whistle.
Is he
as hard as I
damaging?
can.
Is he damaging him like while he's riding
Sorry.
him?
This is just amazing.
Is he riding him? Like, is he like doing damage while they lift, or just holding him
I don't
steady?
know if I want to kill it at this point.
But if you don't,
I get to go to Carcosa.
But if he does, he falls pretty far.
Sorry, I'm just blowing the whistle as hard as I can.
Okay. You draw more to you.
God. If I can command them all.
What are you doing?
What do you want me to do now?
Why would you do what you're doing in the first
I thought it would
place?
disorient him. Remember last time when he was like spazzed out?
Yes, that's probably because he was injured.
While you're holding on to one, it seems the others are gonna try and like get you off of it.
Can I just try and show them the yellow sign?
Okay, you do so.
Eat my hand.
Yeah.
There you go.
Left or right.
That was the last time you saw Biggs just taking off into the sky.
just-
I think
Huge
that's how we're
breakthrough.
gonna. Your body might be recovered, like falling to the earth, but I don't see how you survive from this point on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn it, Ren. He came in here and he's like, surprised everyone's still alive.
Well, you kind of chose your fate.
I thought he would serve me.
That's why.
Why else did this guy have this whistle? So he could get eaten by a big demon
that
bird?
That is kind of weird.
Maybe you just weren't the correct person to be
Maybe you
blowing
didn't
it.
have the spell.
Now we know.
No, I guess there was a chance he was gonna serve, but I don't know.
It's also a chance to win the lottery. Doesn't mean it will happen.
Okay. So you
Oh,
don't
my.
see Biggs again that night.
We saw him get carried off.
Yes.
Oh no! I mourn or something.
You heard like the whistle faintly from the heavens.
Tooting away.
Yeah.
No.
And
Your baby boy.
Miss the housekeeper says, "Is there anything else you require of me this night?"
No.
Okay.
Alright, let's go home.
Let's go.
Big.
You're the new
He's gonna make you big. One way or another.
Okay.
Well, we can't assume he's dead, even though he is.
Yep.
Getting sucked into the moon by a demon.
Well, now you know the threats that
Yep.
you're gonna
Yeah,
face.
now we know it's real.
It's real. So at least my sacrifice was worth something.
I consider that was a threat to begin with.
It's true. We saw him basically at the precinct. Like that was like.
We didn't see anything. We saw Speck.
And a bunch
And,
of
like,
gunfire.
evidence
Like, I
and
put
the
two together.
gunfire.
It
Yep.
wasn't
Yeah.
going to be a good thing.
It's because he was trying to get to me to serve me. I don't think the logic is ridiculous.
I do.
No, I guess it wasn't. But given the context where he just randomly is like, I built this one.
Yep.
Why do you have that whistle, Ziggy?
Why do you have the whistle?
Why do you have the whistle?
I don't want to tell you unless you don't want to play the campaign anymore.
So it's pretty pivotal, even though it's gone forever.
Oh yeah, it's gone because you took it.
Yeah.
It's on the moon now.
It's on the moon. Oh, it might drop back to Earth on your
Yeah.
with your body.
You'll never find that.
Someone might. And it
I
might
mean, I
get
feel like we're not going to
suspicious.
continue with the investigation until we
Oh.
find Big's body. It's like,
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say
That's
that.
not an issue.
I mean, they might just
His
eat
body.
it.
I mean, I
but I'm just
we
saying,
need to
like,
figure out the investigation now. We have even more of a stake in it.
Yeah. It's personal
It's
now.
led to the death
It's
of one of your
personal.
precious sons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I mean, like, he might not be dead.
Well, depending on my
He
stat
is.
rolls, you might have a cousin that comes into the scene.
Yeah.
Extra.
Yeah.
Either Artemis or
a bastard
or-
child.
or
Major gains.
Xerxes. gains.
Soldier.
Artemis Gaines or why can't I think of your typical guy
My typical guy.
for Sloopy
Sloopy.
Gaines. Oh
No,
god.
no,
But-
Don't watch Sloopy
No,
Gaines.
because that'd be very similar to Big's
He
behavior.
sent his
Yeah.
ass to
Yeah.
America a long time ago.
All right. Well, Studs, you can mark the end of the day log for today.
It was almost a super productive day.
That
It-
there's a
yeah.
lot of stuff written.
Yep.
For just November 3rd.
And in the newspaper, we'll say you read the newspaper the next day. I'm sure you'll be looking for things. You find half-eaten torso of a body discovered like uptown London.
A beautiful torso.
Yes.
Big, beautiful torso.
Yeah. So, pending you eventually will discover that is
Alright.
Big's.
Hey, I mean, we went 2 sessions with only 1 death. That's
Yep.
really good.
And a prime suspect in the murder of Dr. Trollope has escaped from the police station following a bizarre incident of utter chaos at the station. So
Fucking.
it's just
So
a
I think it
disaster.
still served him, even though he didn't have to whistle anymore.
It might not have necessarily served him, but it just caused an
Big
uproar.
cause
at
of
the-
chaos. By blowing the whistle, he caused the chaos that allowed
Would
it.
you have not blown into that whistle?
No, I don't think I would.
Probably not without investigating it.
How would you investigate it?
Take
It was
it-
a bone.
We were going to
To,
Trollope's house
take it
anyways.
some
We
weird
would have ended up
research
going to
shop.
Lawrence Bacon's.
When the
he
kid
might know what the
first
whistle
handed
was.
it to me,
If it looked really peculiar, I'd be like, "What is this about?"
it looked like a whistle.
I don't think I picked up a random whistle from a kid that's a bone and been like, I would want to blow into this and see what it does.
That's the difference between the poet
Yeah,
and the big man.
that's right.
Yep.
Have a higher intelligence than all of us.
I don't know what to say. It's a very deadly game world, so
He died the way he lived.
riding on the back
Doing
of
what he
the
loved.
You died the way you lived. That'll be your tombstone.
All right. Do you want to do some stat rolls quick?
Sure.
See
why
what
not?
kind of
Let's
kind
see
of
what-
character
let's see
we
what
got
can
coming.
come up with. Yeah.
It's a little marked up, but if you don't mind that stuff, that's okay.
I mean, you don't have another one, so.
What do I have on there?
All three investigators.
Gators, and then some. Okay, yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Okay. See what kind of cousin's coming up.
So we should go to check that body.
Yeah.
Confirm
Her
it's
strength
big,
is 3d6.
see if
Yep.
the whistle's there.
There you go. 15 strength. Major gains.
You had strength.
Let's see if he's as big as big.
Oh, he's a weak constitution of 5. That's really bad.
Creating your
He's
investigator.
a sickly lad.
I think appearance is 3d6.
Oh, he's not big. He's not the same as big.
He's
Okay.
an ugly man.
So what have you all rolled for so far?
Strength, con, appearance.
Okay, you can do it for Dex.
Yeah.
13.
13.
That's pretty good.
There was one that I think power you had set to if it was 5 or lower.
Yeah.
It
Yep,
was
reroll.
it was a
What's
reroll.
next?
Power. 3d6. That's pretty good.
He's a powerful man.
Fairly
It's 11.
standard.
Yep.
A lot better than your last
Okay,
one.
Yeah.
2d6 plus 6 for size and int.
Size.
How big?
He's small.
Size
He's
8.
small. He's smaller than me.
Yep.
Dude, I'm definitely the black sheep of the family. And
Yeah.
int.
Yep.
I am now.
I want you to reroll that. I'm commanding it. Yeah, I can't. I don't want it.
No, I do not want to play another lighthouse.
See what happens one more time. If it's a 1 and 2, you can start with a spell.
No.
Okay, that
now I
would just
got
take
proper.
that.
Hold on. What was that roll?
He rolled a 3 and a 1, and then you rolled a 1 and a 2.
Yeah.
For what?
So that's a
Int.
15.
There's gonna be another freaking lighthouse.
What did
keeper.
you end up with?
15.
Okay.
What's next?
Okay, education. 3d6 plus 3.
13.
I just realized there's no like levels or anything in this game.
I wonder what if you're like
I'm really strong,
a
But
but I'm
brother,
really smart.
a brother-in-law
But
or
I'm
something.
small, ugly, and sickly.
What about his brother? What about his brother?
I'm
Yeah,
like,
like I'm calling in the big guns now. Like I know.
Oh,
this-
your brother?
Yeah,
Yeah,
his
maybe.
brother.
Oh, you could be your uncle.
My uncle.
I'm like some lab experiment.
No, you're just like.
You're the runt. Of
I
the
imagine-
You're the runt of the Gaines family.
So you're small.
A size 8,
Not
con
tall.
5.
What are you best at?
I have 15 strength, 15 int.
What the fuck?
It's such a weird character.
What the? You're small but really strong.
Yeah.
You're ugly but smartish.
What's your education?
13
Yeah.
right
Oh, no,
now.
you're
Unless you make yourself older, you could really
Yeah.
boost it
You're
up.
very
I could
smart.
cut strength and boost education.
Okay, so
Be
minimum
curious
age for
less.
investigator is your education plus 6. So that's what, 19 right now?
Yeah.
Did you? So you rolled 3d6 plus 3 for your education, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So your minimum age is 9. Did you add 3?
I don't think I added 3.
No, I don't think you did because I saw like a 6, a 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 16.
All right, so your minimum age is 22.
Yeah.
For every 10 years older, you get a point of education.
Up to a max of what?
Up
You
to,
start getting a penalty.
I'd say up to 72. So you could boost your education by 5
to 21.
Yep. For every you could be grandpa game.
That probably makes most sense.
For every 10 years above 40, you subtract 1 from either strength, con, dex, or appearance.
Okay, so just give me the oldest and tell me what I get.
Okay, so at age 72,
Yep.
you would have.
Are you playing a
You'd have
17?
He's gonna grandpa
so
gains.
old.
You could also be like my brother.
You could just be like
elder,
You could
super
be his
elder.
elder brother.
I
Like,
mean, if he was like,
I mean, yeah, if he moderated and went like 52
That's
or
right.
42.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure I'm your dad.
Okay. So
With a 5 con?
oh,
Come on.
whoa, yeah.
you're lowering your con.
No,
No,
it's already at
So
5.
you got
Holy
20.
shit.
So you got 21 education.
Mine's
Nice.
16.
And then
Yeah, like Yoda.
you want to just take it all from strength?
Yeah.
All right, so that'd be minus 3 strength.
Am I still stronger than you?
What is your strength?
It's 12.
We're tied.
Can still beat you in an arm wrestle,
Yeah.
boy.
How did you spawn all these big gains?
He did it. This one's a midget game.
In my younger
he's the
days.
forefather.
Yeah.
In my younger days.
Yep.
He
I'm
used
like-
to be twice as big
Yeah, I
as
was like Benjamin Button.
Yoda.
Yeah.
Shrank over 800 years.
Yep. Okay. 21 education.
No more running. No more running
maximum.
after anybody.
No, that's your job
Yeah,
now.
'cause
You're
that
big-
Okay.
you're big games.
Every bad
That
guy
means
is getting
you
away
get-
from us and
you
the
have
rest
four-
of this
That
campaign.
actually kind of sucks. Yeah, it was nice.
You have
having
420 skill points,
Oh my god! I'm gonna be good at everything.
but you'll have to determine your occupation.
What was your occupation? You're coming out of retirement.
and narrative, like something that would make sense. Like I'm like, who needs to be involved now? My dad. Why would I say that? Like, what do you do that would make me say that?
That would require that would involve a 21 education. It has to be some crazy.
Some kind
You're
of
probably a retired professor or something.
Yeah.
maybe a professor
Like
I
taught
don't
at
know, you
Oxford.
study. It would be too convenient if you studied Cthulhu mythos.
You can't make that your
No,
expertise.
but
Then you're an occultist.
mythology, maybe mythology or
Yeah.
Hear
literature.
that red book over there?
this one,
Yes.
there you go.
I think so.
Porno
No,
magazine.
the other one.
There's 2 red books.
No, not the red one. The other one, the bottom one.
The
Oh,
not
okay.
red book.
That's the one with all the professions in.
Okay. There you go.
What's a smart man do?
We are literally like, if anybody is running away from us, they are just getting away.
That's unfortunate.
Unless they have no threat, then I might consider
Unless you
chasing
can
them.
pick up the
Well,
mantle.
I mean, bronze and guns. It's a last resort in Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with like the beings, it's like always
Having like a more of a Harvey Walters,
Look
you
how
know,
well Big did.
right?
True.
I mean, you took out that assailant, no problem.
Yeah,
That
but if
was
he
good.
never did that, then he wouldn't have got the whistle and he would have been dead.
Yeah, well, and this thing is like I want him to find the whistle, so I allow him to burn.
That
blood.
is true.
Oh
no.
It went disastrously.
Thought it was a benefit.
The keeper's
The
hit
wrong
me.
person got that whistle.
He did, but the boy liked you. He liked Biggs.
I could have been a theoretical physicist.
Okay.
This hockey game's going into double overtime.
Wow. Admirals.
No, Blues
Oh, okay.
versus Stars.
Yeah.
I like
Game
it
7.
for this book where it adds specialties depending on your profession. Specialty to that is +3 to education.
Oh God.
That would be insane.
I will let you keep this
Uh-huh.
for the rest of character gen,
Okay.
because I have everything I need right in here, except my bookmark. But that will be easy to find. All right, so you guys have a lot of options now, just for reference.
Warren.
You've got Graham Roby, Alexander's brother,
Yo.
Vincent Tuck, whoever this Miss Hartson mentioned, Malcolm Quarry, Lawrence Bacon,
Wait,
Can always-
Corey.
Quarry was mentioned.
In the new letter?
No, I'm just giving you a recap of all the names that you've heard. Talbot Estes, looking for the book that Roby wrote, and Edwards was also mentioned in the interview as well. So, tons of leads, and with your grandpa coming around, no problem. This will be the last character he'll need to make, I'm sure.
Yep.
At least your sanity is at like a good number now.
Yeah, it's decent.
Yep. And
Unlike
you still have Thomas who can psychoanalyze you for loss. So.
I mean, what would you call in that would need you'd need expertise on?
a coroner.
Could have been like a judge.
I was trying to think of a reason, like why would I look you up now, but not before?
Because Biggs died.
Big died.
He's
So
here.
I come to the funeral.
Yeah, he comes to the funeral.
And then
Oh yeah, I
ask
guess
how
you
he
don't
died,
it don't have to be like
And you say
He
some
doesn't
demon
related
bird.
to the case. Just
Yeah.
like we meet at the funeral,
Yeah.
and then it's like I tell you about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
Then you just get involved.
So we might. He can have his character all made up, but we might orchestrate his arrival on the scene to be like a day or two after the incident.
What are we lacking?
Well, Thomas has a lot of the psychology skills.
Yeah.
Studs has various art-related skills. I think they both have decent library use.
What about occult?
I think languages is a big gap.
Oh yeah.
And
have
you
a
have the
mild-
benefit of meta knowledge, knowing that German might be imminently important. So
oh yeah.
I have,
Could've
I,
been
have,
like a-
I have a little bit of French, but
yeah,
Could have been an ambassador.
I have
Yeah, you could.
I have 50%.
ambassador to.
otherwise I'm not.
Ambassador
anywhere.
I'm not bad
Half
at.
of your
I'm not
knowledge.
bad at sneaking around and getting into places.
Well, I won't be sneaking. Even though I have 13 decks.
You could be sneaking.
You're pretty quick.
Well, you just have to remember. Okay, despite being advanced in years,
Yeah.
I mean, you're capable of anything a 19-year-old is based on just your
That's
rolls.
right.
So, yep. Don't let age is just a number. That's probably your.
Age
That's
is
just
a number.
okay.
Who else would jet set around the world?
Boat set at this
True.
time. Yeah.
Be a
Could be like you
prosecuting
could.
attorney.
You should literally make him Sean Connery from Last Crusade.
Yeah.
That would be pretty good. Just a nice nice gentleman.
Occupation gentleman.
Gentlemen, yep, that's perfectly legitimate. I mean, as the surviving patriarch of the Gaines family,
Yeah.
it's leisure being your profession is certainly within the realm of possibility.
Could have been a spy.
No, don't say could have been. Your life is still
I am
ahead of
a
you. You've got.
I feel like something
Cause spy. You'd be all around the world. Speak
scholarly
8
or
different
businessman. Is there just businessman?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a little-
My favorite character that I played as was just like a young member of a large corporate family of Steinway pianos.
Is
So
there any
he just had money to throw around. He was kind of like a bit of a how Christian Bale plays Bruce Wayne in Batman Begins, where he's just he's not interested in the business affairs at all. He just kind of enjoys his wealth. That's how I played him. And then he survived 9 sessions and had a Cthulhu mythos in the low 40s by the time that he died. He was just
wow.
he was very my max sanity was terrible at that point. It was I could recover up to 8 sanity.
Is there any occupation where I would start, where I would be able to have 99 credit rating?
What's the richest profession?
A banker.
A banker.
I would say magnate would be that. So you are the head of a company.
Nice.
Because, I mean, it's established that the Gaines is not like a noble house. Because that could also give you a high credit rate. Maybe it is a noble house. Maybe you need to remind them, hey, I am the Baron of, and just name some. So
It's true.
yeah, I'd say business magnate or retired House of Lords Parliament member or something like that. So
They don't really travel though, do they?
well, they could if they want to.
Parliament.
I mean, not while Parliament's in session, no. But
I mean,
during
not in
recess.
any official capacity.
No.
Right.
You gotta be there to take take votes and stuff. So.
Magnet sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Maybe you sold the company and that's why they're not
Yeah.
occupied in the business. Maybe like, you know, you sold it to Standard Oil or something and so now you're just fabulously wealthy and
And I didn't give my kids almost anything.
well,
I
they
gave you a
were
good education.
Well off.
they were
Yeah.
certainly living
Yeah.
comfortably. I
Yeah.
mean, they had 20,000 in assets, you know. Most of them did.
Both.
Well, your son did and one of your grandsons did.
That way I was able to have 99 accounting.
Yep.
So whenever we come across that.
So I'd give you a credit rating of 90 as Magnet.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That'll get us places.
Yeah.
We can book that plane to Taiwan.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll come back. Studs, don't lose track of the calendar. I'm sure it was just going to stay right there. So okay, very good.
There's also a sharpshooter.
I'm gonna need,
Did you fight
I'm gonna
in
need
the
like
war
a blank
and learn
piece of
everything
paper.
there is to know about rifles?
Eventually,
I mean,
oh,
probably
yeah,
like
you'll need a little-
50 years ago. I'll put a few points into it, but not many.
Might have been the best shooter the Marines have ever seen.
Oh, I think it would be almost unheard of for him not to have a gentlemanly skill in marksmanship of
Yeah.
some kind. You know,
Yeah.
as a sport, you know, I'm sure he has a very nice pistol.
I won't have 99 in
No.
pistol.
99 SMG.
SMG. God.
That's my hobby.
Yeah.
He's a casual submachine gun marksman.
All right. Good stuff.
Yeah.
He just loves to go to the shooting range and just spray down targets.
I mean, you guys clearly know these whistles have the capability to summon a Byakhee.
now we know that.
But it doesn't give any guarantee that you can control the Byakhee once it's there. So that
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Crash it down on Broby's head.
Yeah.
Actually, if we're having trouble and you just want to
Just
take someone with
screw
you,
with things. Yep.